everyone? Welcome to the Thursday Night League Challenge here at Nerd Rage Gaming. My name is Dan Hugar. I am here with Christian Moshi Jr. And Moshi, we are going to have some good games today.
I hope so. Better be a great day. I'm ready. I took a nap before I came here. This better be entertaining, or we'll see what happens.
That's the spirit, or Moshi's just going to walk straight off after game 3. Well, hopefully we have some good ones. We do have some really good prep coming up. Thank you very much, Michael, for a couple big events. And Jay Munoz, dude, I am so happy to be back. Thank you for joining us today. Because, Moshi, we just found out this format today is EUIC format and is Seattle format. And I'm sure we all, I'm just going to go over a bit, have feelings about that decision.
Absolutely.
What are your feelings about that decision?
I think it sucks.
Okay.
I'm so tired of this format. We've been in this format for, what, like 3 months?
It's been a while.
I'm so tired of it. I feel like it's the only good thing about it is that most of the players know, like, what's good, what to play against what to do against what the, like, skeleton 60s are. It's gonna be easier to deck build now. It just sucks that we have to play like 2 more events in this format. It's
you
not
are speaking to exactly why I'm so happy about this. So I have made a horrible decision, and I'm going to EUIC now.
Okay.
So
you did get in?
I got in at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Thank goodness. Very blessed for that. I have a flight booked.
Okay.
I had a place with Ben Doberstein, who, when I messaged him, great, I'm excited to stay with you. He said, well, I gave your spot away to someone, to which I said a lot of non-professional words to Ben, but it's okay. We're good now. But yes, so I'm actually super excited because I have a child, in case y'all didn't know. My testing time is limited.
That's true.
But now I can just play the current format.
Yeah.
I know this.
You do know this
I
format.
have a plus 500+ percentage against Gholdengo in
Let's
this format.
go.
We're fine. We're going to be great.
That's surprising.
I am also surprised. No, so I'm really excited because the good news is, like you said, for those people coming in, they can know the decks as well as possible.
Yeah.
There aren't going to be a ton of huge surprises in like tweaks or text, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's really going to boil down to how consistent is your deck and how well do you play the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I love those skill parts coming out.
Yeah, I think the huge part going into both of those weekends is like what archetype's going to show up more.
Yeah.
Like we saw with Birmingham on its own, more Pidgeot Zards were actually doing better than Don Zards, which I think was a huge. I've always said that it was better.
Okay.
You know, personally, I'm a big Pidgeot
Yes.
Charizard enjoyer, so I've always told myself that it's the better version. It has more options. And it showed this weekend.
Yeah.
I think in all 3 events it actually showed in Toronto, Birmingham, and Merida. I think it all showed.
I think it definitely did in Birmingham. I think it was pretty close in Merida and Toronto because there weren't a ton that did well.
But regardless, it's just coming down to archetypes. It's coming down to how many. I don't know how many lilies are you playing in your deck? How many consistency cards are you playing? How many energy are you playing? Are you playing Moltres? Are you playing Monkey? Which one are you playing? Are you playing both? Okay. It just comes down to how you build your deck.
Yeah. And I think that makes a ton of sense. So the deck building is still very important and a key part of this.
Yep.
The nice part is it's not essentially creating a brand new archetype.
Absolutely.
It's have you optimize the archetype you're playing.
Yeah.
And Jay Munoz, Absol Box was actually one of the decks that showed up a little bit this past weekend. So, Moshi, tell me about that as we get this game up here. What do you think about Absol?
So I was talking with Adam about this actually yesterday. We think it's in a really good spot. It definitely has opportunities to be one of the top decks if it can consistently do what it needs to do and consistently be able to find every card it needs, be able to draw just whatever it needs to, being able to consistently set up an Absol, being able to consistently set up an attacker, which I feel like is a main struggle from this deck.
Yes.
Being only able to play 2 Turbo Energize just is, and you can't play more, unfortunately. The list is kind of strict to the 60 it's playing.
Well, you can also only give up so many turns to Turbo Energize.
And just being able to set up, when it does, the deck's almost like impossible to break. It's like one of those decks where you could try to hand disrupt it if you want to. They're just going to draw like at least 5 cards the next turn.
Yes.
Which just sucks. It's hard to stop a deck like that, but once it gets starting, it's really good.
So I would agree with that. I think it is in a good position. It is a very, very strong deck. Cornerstone is not it right now, it sure seems like, but in general, it's pretty good. And we're going to get into this first game,
though. What a matchup we have here.
And what a matchup we have here. Kenneth, thank you for joining, my friend. If y'all haven't already, Kenneth was streaming earlier today. Y'all should join and hang out with him when he does. But we're going to talk about Roaring Moon here. And, Moshi, what is happening? Roaring Moon? Now?
One thing that's interesting is I know Alex is on the poison package. This game could be over pretty quickly.
Okay.
Which
And so tell us about that poison package. What does that mean exactly?
Absolutely. So I played this for a while myself. It plays the baby Petron, which I believe does 50 more poison damage, or 5 more poison counters to your opponent's active when it's poisoned. It plays so many switch cards. It plays the Petron EX. It plays Latias. It plays. I think it's like a. I could just check the list actually instead of trying to guess. It plays 4 ancient booster capsules with 2 brew bonnets. It plays 3 Carmine, 2 Squawks. So it's able to dig through its deck enough to the point where it can consistently find an out to what it needs.
And we're going to see that because we have Pokegear. I think we already have Carmine in hand. We have Squawkabilly. We're going to draw a bajillion cards. And thank you, Alex, for the Pokegear first. Now, granted, this could find Arvin.
It could.
Or it could just thin a card.
We actually don't play Arvin.
Oh, we don't?
No.
Well, there you go. We're just going to thin a card.
Or we're not.
Or
sick.
Also not. Kenneth, I don't think I looked at the heavy lock Absol from Sanjay.
I've not seen that.
I will have to take a look at that. All right. So then on Alex's end, though, really, it's all about can you find that combo? Because at this point, all we need is booster capsule and energy.
Yep.
No Sylveon Baynesh.
Fortunately not.
Unfortunately, no.
Sorry to disappoint.
So we see a stadium. All right, so Moshi, talk us through this turn. What are we going to see off of this Carmine?
We're going to Carmine, and literally all we need is Ancient Booster Energy or Ancient Booster Latias or Petron. If we see any of those, we see Ancient Booster, we see Vessel, that's game.
That is game right here.
So, which sucks for Eli, because I assume that start would have been really good with the Ditto start.
Well, so we did at the Ditto start. We only had a Nest Ball in hand, so it wasn't going to be incredible, but it's would have been a lot better than this. So, Alex, taking down game 1 with the Poison Dunk, Eli got to sit down and do literally nothing to lose the game.
Double knocked out prize 2 was a little rough. So.
Yeah, okay, so things weren't going to be amazing, but, dude, Alex took a quick win.
That was a really good win. That was a great start for Alex, I'll say that.
That is, and a really interesting start to our stream. So now we're going to hopefully see some actual gameplay with Greninja versus Donzard. And Martin's hoping to hit something here.
Yeah. So obviously Martin didn't do anything his last turn, considering that it looks like he just attached past and got Itchy Ballin again.
Oh, well, not even again for the first time.
No,
I assume Ryan went second.
I think Ryan went second, yeah. Which sucks even more because that means Martin just didn't do anything turn 1.
Correct.
So Martin just needs to find a basic Pokemon here. He needs to find a lot, which again, I don't know much about this Greninja deck. I played against it once against Ryan last week. He didn't play the game, so I just kind of didn't see how the deck works. But I know that it sucks not being able to find things, which there is is that a Charmander or is that a Charmeleon?
It's a Charmeleon, I believe. And there is a Buddy Puffin, and unfortunately, that is super unhelpful here.
Yeah. Purdue's a pretty good card, I'd say.
Purdue is a very good card. So I think what Martin's debating is, do I knock out this Budu? Oh, it is another Charmander. Okay.
Okay. Then that changes like this much, a little bit.
Well, I think he is still debating, do I knock out this Budu? And to be honest, if I'm Martin, if we have a draw supporter in hand, I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
So why not, though?
Because say that his draw supporter is a Lilies. If you knock out this Budu, you're only going to be drawing 6 next turn. You kind of need to set up a board next turn. Because what Martin could do, say he had a Lilies in hand, is he could go attach an Evo, Lilies to 8, and possibly Evo 2 Pokemon instead of 1. But Martin doesn't like listening to us sometimes. So
he does not. But to be honest, this game is just about Murray. Great to have you here too. Thank you for joining.
And Ryan's awesome at this game. Ryan loves Pokemon.
Really, we needed 3 pieces. We need a rare candy, we need ignition energy, and we need a Greninja.
Yeah.
So that looks like we may have it. And yes, Kenneth, Fez draw for Ryan would have been real good if he didn't just have it.
I do believe we do have it because we have a Chorus in hand for Ryan. We have obviously the quick search. Every piece should be there.
Yep. And then we'll cross for those 2. There's already the energy attached, and we see the snipe to close out the game.
What a great round 1.
Moshi, are you just going to leave at this point? Like, are we calling it?
I mean, at this pace, we're going pretty well.
No, I'm holding you to this. Get out of here. We'll see you next week.
We might be done at like 8:30. It could be.
Well, those games were done quick. I assume there's a few longer ones.
There's a lot of Dragapult mirrors out there.
There probably is. So let me ask you, Moshi, is this a good time to bring one of them in to chat a bit about the deck?
Sure. Who do you want to talk to?
Let's grab Ryan, if that's cool with you.
I'll go get Ryan for you.
Greninja is, well, actually, no, grab Martin.
Okay. I can get you Martin.
Now, yes, Murray, Thursday is the only day we have Pokemon events. What do you think? I would just grab Martin. Yeah, we'll just talk to Martin. So, what was I going to say? Yes, Thursday's the only day we have Pokemon events, except for when we have League Cups, which is once a quarter. We have our $1,000 event. And once a year, semester, we have our invitational. So, Bryce, do you mind throwing up the Poltzard? So, as we get Martin in here, Martin, good to see you, my friend. I am very sorry for your loss there. I was hoping to bring you in on a positive note. And Mike Morton, thank you for joining. And Kenneth, yes, Hilda sucks. Martin, I'm bringing you in because that one didn't go very well.
It did not go very well. He made me go first. I unfortunately just had the Mander in hand with an energy attach, had all the supporters to go second, but, it was what it was, and him going second. I saw what he was playing. Didn't seem like he was getting a good setup, but once after he Lily, he, obviously he buddy popping for the Pidgey and then another Froakie, so I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. And then I saw the Badoo, and I was like, all right.
We're not chilling anymore.
We're not chilling anymore. And then I top decked the Zard for the rare candy for the next turn.
Oh.
And I'm like, all right, well, I have Lilies. I had Iono too, so I was like, I want to see more cards because I ain't going to be able to use items if I don't see no Pokemon. And sure enough, Lily's only got me one Pokemon. That was the Mander, and I was like, do I Evo or do I just knock it out? Because either way, I was just already telling. I was like, dude, if you do have the combo, you're basically just wiping my board out because I don't have nothing, which is unfortunate, but
It is, but you're playing the Poltzard, correct?
Yes, of course.
So,
I've been playing that for the longest, as far as I remembered.
And this is exactly why I'm bringing you because I don't know if you saw over the weekend, Martin,
yeah.
It did pretty good.
Yeah, it did pretty well. I was happy about it. I'm always up. I'm always positive about Poltzard because of the synergy that it has to it. Even though there's a lot of talks of it not being that good of a deck, I believe it is in a way. But everybody has their own opinions on it, and sure enough, it did well. And, it's like I also, follow and, look at the Oscar Madsen Modify a lot of the time. So, I'm not surprised that Jasper also plays it, and did very well with it, So, and I'm always supportive on them on, what they, show up and provide, especially with the 60 that they come up with. And I'm not surprised that it did well, and I'm pretty sure it's the same list that did well even in Birmingham, I believe. So
it's very close. And Mike, we heard from Roth that he cooked you, but I'm glad you got to play a good player at least, even if it didn't work out well for you. Roth's awesome.
Everybody got cooked, especially on that stream table. I don't even think none of it even lasts 5 minutes, to be honest.
No, not at all.
I looked over, I was like, oh, okay.
So I don't know if I believe that, Kenneth. And actually, Martin, this is why I brought you in. So this is the list. Oh, sorry, Bryce. Can you throw it back up? So this is the list from Merida that Jesper used to get second place. So, how different is this list from the one you're running?
It's actually the same 60.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
It's actually definitely the same 60. I'm running the 3 Manders. No Stadium, the TM. Yeah, everything's basically the same.
So why is this deck good? Kenneth over here is saying that it actually is a worse Guardy matchup than Poltzard. Do you agree with this?
A worse Guardy matchup? I kind of, I don't really know because the only difference is really it's like, the stadium's not there and then you're just adding a third Mander, So basically it's like the idea of it is if you're ever playing against a Guardy, you always want 2 Manders and there's always like more of a 40 to 50% chance that you're prizing at least 1 Mander.
Yeah.
And sometimes just having one on your bench and then you don't have the backup and knowing that, Mander is the biggest threat against Guardy is just kind of hard. And then trying to, bring it back and benching it, it's, it becomes a little bit more harder than that. But I've always felt like it always had like a good Guardy matchup if you have 2. So for them to add a third one with no Stadium, I'm up against that too because, I do like the Stadium in the deck, especially against the Guardian matchup when they're trying to, protect their, like their Fez or the Clefairy or the Mew.
Yes.
In order for you to at least take 3 prizes with Dragapult. So it's like, that's the only thing, right? But I guess just, the idea I see of it for them to have 3 Manders is just so they could aggressively just have Charizard on the bench and then, if they try to item lock you, you have the Millen, at least to be able to evolve it or rare candy the other one, whichever comes first or whatever, the circumstances is after that.
So that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you because for everyone watching, we try to have this be an educational and like, hey, how do we get better? Why is this deck worth playing? Why would you recommend people pick this up? Because obviously you got a bunch of good cards in here, but why do they work well together?
I guess I could give you my opinion on why I think
it's
good. So
absolutely.
It's like, just the draw engine with the Dreepy and the Drag Cloaks, and then the Synergize with the Zard into the Dragapult. It just kind of works well into each other where you don't really have to worry about too much about attaching for turn because you have the Zard to kind of just go off and give you that extra attachment to either your GPs or even if they try to like stall you on like bringing up a Fez into the active and you just Zard your way up there and then you still have the attachment from your hand to either to attach to a Dragapult, to do an attack. But and then the unfair stamp, I really always love the unfair stamp and any deck that I always play.
The unfair stamp is so good.
It's just really so good. And it's just like, there's that kind of, like, for me at least, it's like I always like to try to play from behind, and it's like if they manage to take 2 attacks or 2 prizes before I could even, like, get going, I feel like after that, playing the unfair stamp kind of gives me more of an edge, and on top of that with counter catcher, and then depending if you're trying to go for a setup, and then you just Badu lock them, it's so good, and then you just have all the draw with the Tricloaks, and then just having your board set up to take late big hit prizes with Charizard. So it's like, and I guess my idea of when I play this deck is I'm always trying to set my board up where I could draw and then go for the Dragapult attack, and then towards the end, try to take the late Zard hits for the bigger, mons.
And so I think what you're saying is exactly why because I've been playing this deck a bunch. This is really cool. That's why I love this deck is because Dragapult, and Bryce, you can put it back on us if you want, but like Dragapult's strengths obviously are being able to like spread, set up a check on board. But you hit 200, which is a good number.
It's a good number for sure.
But there's a lot of times it's not enough. But Zard, you just crush anything when you get late in the game.
Especially with like certain matchups like Gholdengo, right? It's like if you can't get the Shield set up, but you manage to get like a Dragapult and then a Zard to follow up, you hit 200 to 1, or just take a knockout, right? And it's just kind of spread damage to like Gimme Ghoul, right? And if they don't like try to heal it up, then Zard could come out and then hit for 240, which even though it's kind of short, and then that math kind of adds up to where you could just take a knockout with Zard, So it just
it's a good deck, man.
It's a good deck, It's like, kind of, it's hard to see like people talk, bring it down a little bit when I'm just like, But
no, Azul hates on this thing constantly, but I will say like it is a solid deck. You can see how well it did in 2 events that were large. I think there were 2,300 players in Mexico.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So like, y'all, if you want to pick something up that's a little different, a little cool, I recommend it.
Yeah, it's a fun deck.
It has a horrible Poltnor matchup.
It does.
Just atrocious.
That's the only matchup that I kind of hate, and it's I see a lot of Poltnors out there, so I'm just like, ugh, all right.
There are a lot today.
There's a lot of them today, so yeah, that matchup is the only one that's really hard. But if you manage to go second and kind of Badu lock them, where you could kind of slow them down and you just kind of be more aggressive, then I feel like and that's where like kind of like not only Badu lock them, but I feel like that's the reason why you play the Team Evo, just because, you rather get set up and kind of keep going while they're taking their time trying to set up. And if you manage to start attacking by turn 2 with them locking you, with just managing to have either the Pole or the Zard, and then just kind of just keep going and then just swing before they could manage to get all set up, But it's definitely a tough matchup, but yeah, I mean, that matchup against Ryan, I don't even know how that matchup will go, but it's just unfortunate how I had a drop. So
it's pretty good if you're able to play the game.
Yeah.
And you were not able to play again. No. So, and I appreciate it. So then, last question before I let you get out of here and chill a bit. If someone does pick up the deck, what's the biggest advice you have for them to play it well?
To play it well? I always thought about this one if I ever got asked. Like, if you're going to pick up the deck to play it well, just kind of understand what the deck does, as in the GP and the Charmander. You kind of want to take it as like a Dragapult more of a stance, but
got it. So it's a Dragapult deck with Charizard as a complementary.
As a complementary, if you manage to like not get a Mander down, then just kind of just get your board set up, because again, it's a deck that likes to take it. Not obviously it plays over a canyon, but if you manage to get set up, get the drag close, get the draw going, and then the energy attachment for turns, I think you're kind of like chilling.
Yeah.
In a way where you sometimes don't need Mander, but it's always nice just to have a Mander in the bench just in case if you want to get aggressive. So, and then always know, like, it's like you have the unfair stamp. So it's like they ever take a knockout, try to find it. And if you need to slow them down, counter catcher, it's a very combo deck that really you just got to, like, know that if you're not drawing well, like, there's ways that deck could get you out of it, and you're never out of it, even if they take 2 or 3 prize cards, which, honestly, if anybody watched the Miraidon stream where Jesper was literally behind against Gholdengo, where I was just thinking, all right, he's cooked, but somehow he took game 1 in his top 4, which was exactly what, Poltzart does, and I was just like, wow, okay, yeah, and that's exactly why I like this deck, you're never out of it.
Dude, I love it. I'm a Poltnor player. You're never out of it.
You're never out of it when
Martin,
you're always behind.
Thank you for chatting with us. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me here. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy the stream. Sorry about that first game.
You're good, man. If you can grab Moshi and send them in. All right, so typically we have games that last longer than 40 seconds here, but you know, sometimes it's just that kind of day. So while we have a second, did just want to say, because I forget to do this, you should follow us and subscribe and like us and all those things. And I get zero money from it. But if you want to follow us on Twitch and then share with people who like Pokemon crap, and then if you want to follow or like, subscribe on YouTube if you're on there, because, dude, it's just fun to do this. So we get to convince Norm to keep doing this if people watch. So come watch. But making Pult my personality, haven't lost until your opponent takes the last prize. Yes. Yes, 13 degrees. Absolutely. And I was actually going to grab Moshi here because as we go into EUIC, into Seattle, it's kind of stuck in the format. I'm kind of curious how you like the new time rules. Have you read those?
I have not.
Okay, so this is good for everyone to talk about. They had adjusted the rules this year to where it was +1 turn, 10 minutes. Just recently, they adjusted the handbook where it's now back to +3 turns, but 15-minute limit. So how do you feel about going back to +3?
I feel like that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I feel like +1 turns just made the game more. I don't know how to word it. It's like you can kind of just manipulate it easier. In my opinion, it's a lot easier to manipulate +1 turn and compared to +3, where you both get at least a opportunity to fix the game for yourself. I've only played in +3. I never actually had a game go to +1 ever because I'm a pretty fast player sometimes.
And you were clearly not playing Poltnor.
No, I only played Poltnor, and I played Control, Dan. So.
Okay, that's fair. And yes, Kenneth, it's much harder to 1-0 people in that case. And Murray, no, you always expect the opponent to take the first 4 prizes, and then you win. And Sammy, hi, thank you very much for joining us. All right, so then keep going, Moshi, though. So +3 seems good just to give a little more responsibility.
I feel like it gives more lenience to every player in considerance because there's games where you're going to lose a quick game 1, and then there's some players that are going to manipulate time past that.
Yes.
I feel like it's very possible to come back in a situation where you've been time manipulated and you have an opportunity to come back and get a tie out of it or even get a win out of it depending on what game you're in.
And so that is a big thing, especially going into regionals. Pay attention to the clock. Yeah. It is okay to tell your opponent to play faster. You are allowed to do that. So do that. But Moshi, you're right. Like the +3 just makes it more likely to conclude a game.
Yeah.
And so if you are tending to try to go for a 1-0 or something like that, you're way more likely to conclude a game 2 or even get to a game 3. So I'm hoping it encourages everyone to play quicker.
Why would I play Control? I went 3-2 with it at the Invitational. What are we talking about? I did perfectly fine.
No, Kenneth plays Control all the time.
Oh, okay. So.
Yes, Kenneth is being sarcastic. I believe. I can't read sarcasm in text, but it feels it.
I just didn't know that. So.
Yeah, no. Also, don't play Control.
Whoa.
Just don't.
You had me on stream twice and I won.
I know, and I didn't enjoy it either time. And 13 degrees, I don't mind double loss, but I'm not opposed.
I think it's like the game gets more chaotic with that.
It does. That is true.
Sure.
But Sammy, you also mentioned the other thing I want to bring up for timing. So Pokemon now actually laid out a time for prize checking.
Really?
45 seconds.
Oh, sick.
So your first deck search, you get 45 seconds to kind of see the contents of your deck. What do you think about that?
I think it's definitely good that they're implementing it now. I think it's, in my opinion, a little too short. I feel like for most decks, there's a lot of cards that you specifically have to look at, where 45 seconds just isn't enough for most people, and most archetypes depend on more being able to find specific options, which might take a little bit longer than 45 seconds.
And so actually, this is going to be rude, Moshi. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Like if you need that many options for your deck and you need to know that detail, that's okay. You're just going to have to do it across your first 3 searches. Yeah. And so for me, I love that 45-second limit because that means across best of 3 50 minutes, at most 4.5 minutes will be taken up by prize checking.
Sure.
And like that's still 10% of the time.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot better than the 20 or 25% of the time that was taken up before.
Yeah.
So I hear your point though, and the not enforceable part is tough. So Moshi, you played Control.
I do play Control.
Your opponent's playing slow.
Sure.
How do you get them to stop that?
Obviously, the first thing is just ask them to play faster. If they don't, ask them again. If they don't, call a judge. That's
100%.
usually the options.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Exhibit A. If your opponent's not playing at pace, ask them to increase pace. ask them to make a decision. If they continue to play slow, call a judge. If the judge comes and they play faster, then the judge leaves and they play slow, call the judge back. And rinse and frickin' repeat every time if you need.
Absolutely.
So then, what do you think of kind of the time rules in general? Should we be going to 60 minutes? Should we be implementing chess clocks?
I don't think the chess clocks thing is a good idea. Mostly just because I feel like I'd forget it. So it's like it's like a personal thing.
Okay, fair enough.
But I think I like the game where it is. I feel like most games are concluding within that range for the most part that I've seen. I don't really see many, like, I haven't really seen so many games go to overtime rules. I haven't seen many games get past that, like, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I feel like it's in a good spot and a good position where everybody's, again, it's like the thing where people are comfortable with the format, where people are able to quickly get past things because they know that their opponent's not hiding anything that they have to be worried about. So they can easily just make decisions and be able to get through their games faster than they usually would in a newer format.
And I think that makes a ton of sense. There is more opportunity to actually, like, play more efficiently and effectively because there's not a billion new decks coming into the format.
Yeah.
And then for the chat, ton of time prize checking. I would tend to agree. I think there are some decks that play enough one-ofs. You truly do need to know everything that's missing. Control. But also, like, going back to Lost Zone mechanic stuff like that, you had to know what all your prizes were. Otherwise, you could make one decision earlier in the game that costs you the game.
You lost on one chorus and you prize one and it's over. It's like, whatever.
Right, exactly. Or for playing Lost Tina, I play 3 grass energy.
Yeah.
If I have a choice between a grass and a psychic early in the game, I better know how many I have of each of those available.
For sure.
And then I also agree, though, 13 degrees. Pokemon gives us a specific stance on it, and I love that.
Yeah.
Art Sammy, 57, 7-minute overtime +1. To me, it's less the 10 minutes. It's more the +1 or +3.
Yeah. That's it for me, too. It's more of just, like, which one they're going to pick and if it's going to actually work out at the end of the day.
Yes. But kind of like you said, Moshi, the tie rate's actually been down a bit.
Yeah.
Which, I hate to say that it worked. It kind of worked.
It did work, for sure.
Which is annoying. All right. Remove prize checking. Yes. So how do you feel about just being able to check your prizes, Moshi?
I feel like that's perfectly fine. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's just, like, it makes it so that you could make rounds longer or you can make them shorter depending on how, like, because you feel like you were saying, like, what, 2% of every, like, a whole set is, like, or, like, 20% of a whole set was usually, like, just prize checking.
Yeah.
You get rid of that and you make the game, like, 95% game.
100%. And Munoz, so yes and no. I don't know about you, Moshi, but for me, even if I know every single card in my list, trying to kind of mentally track all the cards I'm seeing as I search through the deck takes time.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't have the mental capacity to hold each of, like, the Mind Palace, like, slots in my head.
You have, like, the limitless image generator just in your mind.
I do not have it in my brain, unfortunately. So for me, it takes time to do a passive art energy, passive Pokemon, passive trainer, stuff like that. So it takes time.
I've personally been able to, I've always been good at having a semi-decent memory where I'm able to at least just look through it, be able to count all my Pokemon energy and trainers that I need in one, like, around 1 to 2, like, look-throughs.
That must be nice.
It's not. It's because I just, like, kind of forget more important things, but
That's where the skill. I don't know if that's a skill guy who want to measure in Pokemon. Who knows?
Do you have?
But
I
do understand what you're saying. Yes.
But I've always been able to, like, consistently know what's missing, which comes good in some parts, but it's also, like, it's one of those things where if you're good at prize checking, that doesn't necessarily make you a good player by any standards. You could still have some struggles that you're good at, which I know I have plenty. Dan's consistently telling me.
No, you're great. You do everything perfectly. It's great. I've never seen a single misplay. Carry on.
Never.
Nope.
But it's like just being able to know what's missing and how fast you can figure it out just makes it so you have more time to figure out what your actual game plan is going into your set.
And so that's it. And Munoz, I know we're joking. It is legitimately a skill to check your prizes efficiently and to know what resources to look for. And I think, kind of like you're saying, Moshi, for me, I would rather shift it so you do not need to express skill in that area. Because the skill of just being willing to take a step to at least monitor your resources early, I don't know if I would like that to be a differentiator on being successful or not successful. And yes, Mike, I agree. Just look for 10 seconds, shuffle them, and go. So not complete against looking at prizes. Till then, something you should practice. Know what you need. Yes, and 13 degrees, I think you're saying exactly the same thing Munoz is. Like, if this is the world we're living in, then yeah, being able to identify the resources you have is really, really important.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I know I personally I spend a lot of time actually practicing my prize checking because for all of my events, I feel like most of my problems is just not being able to identify what's in my prize cards. So the last like 3 events or 4 events I've gone to, I've practiced at least a day of just trying to remember what my prize cards is and being able to see how fast I can actually do it. Because it's again one of those things where I was saying earlier about not wanting to take that much time in the game.
Yeah.
Just being able to consistently get under like I don't know, like at the time I think I was getting like under 230.
Dang, okay. That's pretty good.
Just being able to do that consistently, it's like I know that I'm going to be fine for the rest of the like 40 minutes I'm playing my game because I know what I'm missing and I know that I'm going to be able to play around it.
That makes a ton of sense. I will say on my end, and Moshi, father, is over here. Yes, if you play 4 gimmies and 4 Dango, your Pokemon search is a whole lot easier.
For sure.
Do the same, Christian. Still, that's fair. And yeah, so this is also something I'm glad about. When we did not have a guidance on this, I happily told my opponents, hey, you got time for a deck search, not a prize search.
Yeah.
Now I'm happy to say, hey, cool, you got 45 seconds, and after that we need to move along. And, well, so Mike's saying it's not checking the prizes, it's what is prize that's the differentiator. And that is a fair point.
I love prizing my life. I think I prized 2 bosses on stream twice the last 2 weeks.
Listen, I just love prizing all my Dragapult because
Awesome.
Dragon Headbutt becomes a very important attack in that case.
It's so brutal.
All right, so then this is actually a question. Trying to contend checking 3 or 4 to 6. No, I think that's great. And this is, I think, the thing I'd end on as we're hopefully getting a round up here in a minute. Knowing what prizes to check is important. So I mentioned Lost Tina. It's kind of similar to Dragapult.
Yeah.
I don't need to know how many lilies I have. No. I don't even especially need to know how many Buddy Poffin I have.
Sure.
Or Ultra Balls, whatever.
Yeah.
I need to know if I have Dragapult. I need to know what my energy count is. I need to know what my Dusk count is.
Yeah.
And I need to know if I'm going to be able to retreat Fat Basic from the active and having Latias.
Yes.
After that, I can kind of do this piece by piece throughout the game, just as decisions start to come up. Like, okay, do I Iono or Lilies based on how many Buddy Poffin are in my deck? But I don't need to spend all that time on stuff that isn't immediately consequential.
Which I think that's one of those things that you were saying where it depends on player on what cards you actually look for.
Yes.
Me personally, because we both play Dragapult, we're both pretty experienced in the deck.
Unfortunately.
I'm searching all of my Pokemon out, all of my energies. I'm searching my Gust options, and I'm searching my Turo.
Yes.
That's all I'm looking for.
You play Turo?
I do play Turo.
I should
that card
play
is
Turo.
insane.
And let's not get crazy. But I do need to figure out my list for EUIC, so we can talk about this. Yes.
We can talk about that later for sure.
Yes.
I think that card's nuts. But I check all of my Gust, which I play 6. I play 6 Gust. I play Turo. So it's like I just make sure that I have those. I have my energy. I have my Pokemon.
And see, if you play all that, you can just cut the Buddy Poffins. So you
At
don't
that
have to
point.
worry about searching them. Yeah, exactly. And Munoz, yes, Absol box, checking for Mons and energy and bosses. But the other thing I think you need to check for are your Turbo Energize.
For sure.
Like what tools you have available.
Yeah.
3 Pad, 3 Ultra Ball, no Turo list. God,
Sure.
just pour it into my veins, Kenneth. Pour it into my veins.
Why not?
All right, so then what do you pick as the priority into a given matchup for Polt? Like, what's the stuff you need to know? It's Gust, you said.
The stuff obviously you need to know, the Neo Upper Energy, the Latias, like you said. Making sure you have your Dragapults because I don't know about you, but I'm playing 2. So just making sure that I have at least 1 is fine. My Dust Line's very important. Just my energies in general because we're already playing a low count. Sometimes I check my jamming towers depending on the matchup. Because like if it's like those Kangaskhan matchups, like the Guardian matchup, even like the Terror Box matchup, the Donzard matchup, like those, just getting rid of Area Zeros, getting rid of Mystery Guards, getting rid of Artisans. Those are all very important. So I like just checking my jamming towers just in case.
Well, I also like checking jamming towers, and this is a specific play. But if you're going into a deck that uses something like TM Evo or Turbo Energize, and you have 2 of them, slap it down turn 1.
Yeah.
Just force your opponent to have it, because a lot of times they don't, and you can buy yourself a couple turns. Real quick for chat, 1 research run nest ball. That's exactly what I'm playing right now. I just got to figure out the last couple cards.
Played that last week.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
4-0 last week, by the way.
All right. Yeah, you did really well. And then, Mike, yes. So, that is something that came out just a day or 2 ago. The new set, Ascended Heroes, is not legal for EUIC. So, there's no Pokepad. There's no 70 HP Snow Runt. There's none of the like 3 other cards that are valuable. No End
No
Zekrom.
Zekrom.
That's
Yeah,
a big one.
That's the big one.
But otherwise, it's kind of just the same old format.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like less Zoroarks are gonna be there. That's really all
fine.
it is.
That matchup is atrocious. I'm
Yeah.
so okay with it.
That's what I was telling Adam too. I was like, I don't want to see any more Zoroarks. It's already hard to beat it once. I don't want to have to face it 7 times.
And so I think that's something we should talk about too. We're getting the next pairing up here, which is great. Yes, Kenneth, thank you. So one of the big things that actually is coming out of the set that I think is unappreciated there are 2 Stunfisks that retreat lock. One is a lightning type that has the Mawile effect of adds 100 damage the next turn.
You shouldn't have told me that. I didn't know that was a thing.
The other one is a 210 HP EX basic for 1 fighting, does 30 damage of retreat locks. And so if you're trying to lock something resistant to fighting, rather than having it be 110 HP pseudo-wudo locking it, you now have a 210 HP, 260 with a charm on it, retreat locker. And that's disgusting, and I hate it.
290 with Lively Stadium.
290 with Lively Stadium, exactly. Yeah, the fat one will definitely farm Guardy. That is disgusting.
That sounds awesome. I'm going to have a great time playing Control when that comes out.
I'm not.
So back.
I'm not. And yes, Sammy, I am going to miss CC Iona when it eventually rotates. All right, so then we're going to get our game set up here. We do have the next round. Thank goodness. I am excited to watch some Pokemon.
I can check who we have on while they're figuring that out.
Just going to act. So, Kenneth, I mean, if you're playing Control, you got to knock out something at some point. Do you not play a bear? You have to play a bear.
You do play a bear.
I was going to say, you always play a bear. And Murray, goodness, that would be very sad to not have Zoroark if Zekrom's coming out.
So we have...
Wait, you don't play bear? Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll look at the Toronto list. That's fair.
Toronto list the other day. Yeah, there's no bear in that list.
Yes.
That kind of sucks.
All right, so who we got coming up?
Elias and Justin.
And Justin Templar. So in case you guys haven't heard of Justin Templar, pretty good player, formerly on the Nerd Rage team, because, again, we're the farm league for bigger teams, I guess. And then Elias, local player, has been playing a lot of Guardy. I assume he's playing Raging Bolt today.
I think he's actually playing...
Dango.
Yeah, he is playing Dango.
Good eye, Bryce. Bryce has
Bryce.
such a good eye. And so we're actually going to see Dango into Grimmsnarl, which was a deck that, I don't know if it came out of nowhere per se, but definitely was more successful than I thought it was going to be.
For sure.
Because I believe it won Merida, correct?
I don't know. I didn't look into it. I only looked at Birmingham, to be honest.
The Mexico Regional, yes.
Sick.
Yes, which
That's
is pretty cool.
Actually. That's pretty cool.
It is, right. All right, and then what was the other match we had, Moshi?
It was, I'm pretty sure, was Josh DeLuca and Rafal.
Okay. Oh, Eevees. Nice. I'm here for it. Man, we got some good players here. All right, so then, Bryce, you mind just throwing up the game as they're getting set up? They've been looking at our faces long enough here. But no, so Justin playing Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl did get, actually, Bryce, can you throw up the Grimmsnarl list as we're throwing this up? So Grimmsnarl did get first place at Merida. I neglected to include the name of the person who played it, so apologies, but congrats on your win. And they actually played this with the Slime Mold Colony alongside a lower Frostlass count. And I mean, this deck's pretty close to normal Grimmsnarl otherwise, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty normal from what we've seen the last couple months of it being here. There's no Toadscruel in this list, so that is kind of something to consider going into this matchup against Gholdengo.
And I think that's a big deal. So the Toadscruel is huge, but what Justin does have is 3 Frostlass.
Yeah.
And that is really big and Bryce, you can throw in the game if you would like. That's really big to pull off those big Devo plays.
Yeah.
All right, so then we are going to have Dango versus Grimmsnarl here, and then Moshi, talk us through as we get it started.
I will try my best. So, depending on who's going first, which I assume it's going to be Elias, and it is Justin, which is fine. So Justin probably wants to get a couple Impidimps down. If I had to say, that's how the deck usually works.
That seems good.
That hand doesn't look like it has any way to get... Oh, it has an Ultra Ball. It has 1 Ultra Ball. So we're going to be able to get 1 Impidimp down, but not much else. I mean, the hand's, Boss, Research, Frostlass, Arven.
It's a really good hand going second.
For sure.
It is not terrible, but we're in that neighborhood going first.
Yeah, I think there is a Lilies in that hand, though. So.
There is. And so there's a Lilies, an Arven, a Research. We've got plenty of ways to play the game if Elias had gone first.
Yeah. One thing that is cool for Elias, which I did see more of his hand than I saw Justin's, he does have a Fighting Gong and 2 Fighting Energies in hand.
That's really good.
That is really good. So we're going to be able to Lunar Cycle and be able to use Cosmic Beam, which I think that's the attack called on the Soul Rock. I'm just
It
kinda
is,
guessing.
it is.
I am so smart, man.
You're just on your game today,
Look
Moshi.
at me. You remember what I told you last time I was with you? I was going to be ready next time I was with you. I am
You are.
somewhat ready.
You came minus the fact that you were just going to leave if the game sucked. You came ready to play today.
I'm so back.
So what do you think about this decision, though, to get Monkey Dory?
I think that's also just fine. I think because Justin's playing 2 TM Evo, he's mostly playing around having to Arven next turn to Evo into... Oh, we're just... Okay, sure. Yeah, we're preventing a knockout.
And so I don't mind this, because
Yeah, I
also
don't
the 70 damage is going to be able to get flipped right around by Monkey. But then talk us through what Elias is doing here.
So we are going to Fighting Gong, obviously get the Lunatone, considering we have the Soul Rock on the bench. Elias drew a 3rd Fighting Energy for
Just
turn.
less than ideal.
He needs to find a way to give a Gimme cooldown, which would be pretty important for a deck like Gholdengo, I'd have to say. I think that makes sense for me.
I would agree with that.
But, of course, the main thing is we are going to be able to attack this turn. If Elias has a boss, that's pretty optimal, but we play Arven, so we are guaranteed Gimme Ghouls at least. Or we just go Prime Catcher and knock out the Badoo because we're greedy, but we're not. We're going to be smart and grab Gimme Ghouls.
So I think it's a super reasonable choice to go with
Absolutely.
here. And honestly, if I'm Elias, I'm not attacking.
I'm not either, especially if it's a Monkey in the active. Like, if you, like, it's not really worth it. If anything, you're just going to continue setting up this board as much as you can.
So, Sammy, I actually would tend to agree that Poltnor has a better guarding matchup than Grim, but
so.
say it again.
I would think so, too.
The thing Grim has going for it is you can monkey back a lot more damage than they can send on your end.
Yeah, it's... Are you going to attack?
I hope not.
Why?
Why? Why?
The hand isn't great.
Why do you think Elias is doing this?
I don't know.
This incorrect, very bad decision.
The right answer, in my opinion, is I don't know, because I don't know what was I don't know what we're thinking, because our hand's not great. We have double superior, fighting energy, air balloon, boss.
So I think what Elias may be thinking is that being able to apply some pressure here because Justin's hand was bad. But the thing was, Justin's hand was great if he went second.
Yeah.
And so especially discarding supporters, you got to imagine that his hand is actually pretty good.
Yeah. And, oh my God.
Sammy, yes. Justin is like, the game is winnable now.
We are playing Frostlass Dory today, guys. Which is completely fine.
I feel like that's optimal right now.
I agree.
Why expose 2 prizers for Elias?
Yeah. Which I do know about that deck a little bit. I'm a pretty big Frostlass Dory guy. I played that deck for like a month. So we're in a pretty good spot for Justin, actually. Unfortunately, Elias has that boss, which he doesn't know about, which we're going to be able to knock out the Monkey Dory. It is going to suck a little bit for Justin, but it's fine because we have lilies. So
True, but also this is really good for Elias because now we have a second boss to follow up on either an Impidimp or something like that.
I didn't even see that. That's actually huge. For
So we
Elias,
took a
you're correct.
second boss off of the Lunatone.
Oh, that's sick.
Okay, and we see Frostlass, Lily, and so 8 cards for Justin coming down. And yes, Kenneth, I think being able to actually 2-shot that monkey was a huge deal for Elias.
Yeah. Secret box is in hand. I know that.
And that's pretty good.
Monkey's there.
So what's Justin trying to set up this turn?
I'd imagine he'd want a second. Okay, well, there's a second Frostlass. We probably want double monkey down this turn.
Kenneth, you did trick many people into playing that deck.
We probably want a second Monkey Dory if I had to guess. Maybe, like, I don't even know. Do you want to play Grimmsnarl on this matchup at this point? I mean, you could.
So I think your point of at this point, do I think Grimmsnarl is going to be important at some point? Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to apply enough pressure that just Soul Rock can't respond to.
So do we just, like, get ready to grab the Impidimps and just be able to hold them and, like, have at least 2 on the board?
It was a social experiment. May as well have been. No, and I don't mind that. I think being able to set it up to respond later is fine.
Yeah.
The one thing you have right now, though, is forcing Elias, if he wants to take a prize, to knock out a Badoo and save you resources later is not bad.
That makes sense. Yeah, I agree with that.
And also, the one thing Elias is going for him is Justin decided to put all that damage on the Soul Rock.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's good for Justin to try to knock it out without allowing Elias the use of items. But at the same time, with that Artisan coming down, Elias is probably going to be able to keep attacking.
Yeah. Elias is almost guaranteed like what 2 more turns off of this or something like that. It's like
Yes.
he's guaranteed at least 2 more Cosmic Beam attacks. And now he's guaranteed a good prize instead of a Badoo prize with that boss in hand.
Yes, which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, that Frostlass is not building any damage on Elias's board,
Well,
except for the
it's-
Lunatone.
Yeah, it's hitting the Lunatone, which is somewhat enough, but it's not enough to be impactful, except that we're going to have Monkey Dory next turn. So we don't have anything. We have a lot of items.
Well, we can get another Soul Rock if we want. And we do have a lot of items. We unfortunately do not have another Fighting Energy, it looks
We
like.
don't. We have 2 Superiors, though.
Which will be good eventually.
When we can play items, yeah. I mean,
So, and actually, Moshi, that's my question for you. In this case, is it better to knock out Badoo and bounce the stadium?
I think so. I'm like 80% sure that Justin discarded his second Badoo off the secret box.
He did.
Which he did. So if you just notice, or that's a Shaman, I think. I think he kept it because I knew he drew it off the. The lilies, but I think he discarded the Shaman instead of the Badoo.
Okay.
But I think it's just in the case of, if he misses, I get a turn, like guaranteed.
I
That's
love
perfect.
this decision
That
by
is great.
Elias. So perfect math to knock out the monkey in between turns based on Frostlass. And Elias, like you said, takes a valuable prize there.
Yeah. So we're just gonna grab another monkey,
As we should.
and it's getting to the point though where for Elias, it's gonna be more and more harder to consistently get worthwhile prize cards, because we've already down 2 bosses. Our counter catchers are almost gonna be pretty much useless the rest of this game. So Elias really just has to swing into a Badoo at this point, which doesn't feel great.
And actually, I disagree with that. I think at this point, hitting into a Badoo does feel great because we're already 2 prizes ahead. Justin has not applied any problematic damage except for here knocking out the Soul Rock, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you think he knocks out Soul Rock?
I think so. I think
No, we do put it on the Gimme Ghoul.
which is also fine. Playing for Devo, playing for just in case
Right.
of the evolve. I don't think we're gonna see an evolution. But it's just in case. I think Bryce is gonna go tell him to use the big dice.
Yes, please use the big dice. So I agree that I think playing for the Devo on Justin's end is good. And Elias is doing a great job of not letting Justin easily access that.
Yeah. That's correct.
Yes, it should be 90 on there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, because there was one move of 30 onto the Soul Rock,
Yeah. Bryce, you
and
can tell
then
them they're
we
good.
monkeyed twice, or we Badooed twice.
Yeah, that's right. Those monkeys are correct, yes. Because he had 40 on the one with no energy. He moved 30, and then he gets 20 between turns. That's right.
Weren't both monkeys at 20?
No, the one monkey was at 40. He moved 30 off it, and then
Yep.
the double tick. So that's right.
Monkey math is right. All right, so then we do.
We have Taro, and I think we have a fighting energy now, which would be pretty cool.
That would be very cool.
There's a fighting energy now. We have an air balloon, as long as, if I'm right, that Taro's still in hand.
And so, to be honest, this is where I'd want to Artisan for Soul Rock, right?
Yeah, you have to. You get. Okay, there it is.
There we go, yes. Because also, even if Justin says, oh, okay, I'll knock out Lunatone, you can just Artisan for another one. Yes, so Badoo has been doing 20 damage with every hit. It only does 10 damage base. But Grimmsking, I'm glad you're keeping us honest here. All right, so Moshi, what else does Elias want to do this turn?
So you could argue for a lunar cycle, which I would like to see, to be honest. Just being able to hopefully be able to start building something when Justin runs out of Badoos at some point.
And actually, I love that, being able to attach a medal, because it just reduces the burden later in the game.
I do think that one thing that's going to be interesting to acknowledge later is whether Elias has enough. It's only doing 20. Each Digipalm is doing 20 damage, but just later in the game of being able to
Yeah, Grimmsking, Itchy Pollen does 10. Since it's weak, it's doing 20 with each attack. So it would just be at 90 right now.
So, but like I was saying, just being able to keep track of Elias's energies, there's a world where he eventually just runs out,
Yes.
especially with those metal energies, and then he's just able to go, okay, give me a Gimmighoul. Shake my hand. Like it's close. It's not completely out of Justin's reach by any means.
So actually, Sammy, that seems cool in general. I don't know if that actually be a great call for Justin because Elias would have a very high chance to respond with a knockout.
I do think that would be pretty bad for Justin. Because then Elias would be going down to 2. You don't want him to go down to 2.
Exactly.
That doesn't feel great.
All right, so now we see 3 damage on each of the Gimmighouls. Oh, no, you're totally good, Grims. And I mean, that's going to be knockout.
That is going to be a knockout.
Wait, that's knockout.
That's...
Elias is just struggling with math a little bit. Don't worry. You had planned for this by getting the other Soul Rock.
He had a long day at school.
He did. He probably did have a long day at school. All right, and so we get to go into Soul Rock. I think we have a fighting energy in hand.
I actually don't think... Okay, we do. We had the one. Oh, we got it off the Iona.
Which, I mean...
It's pretty cool.
Just attack and knockout.
Yeah.
And I love that Iono here because Justin had been able to build a big hand, take a prize, just make it harder for him. Grim is kind of if Dragapult and Charizard had a very ugly baby. I agree. No.
I don't like that at all.
I don't like that at all. Well, no, actually, that's a lie. I like that a lot.
Why?
Because Elias has 3 prizes remaining. We'll have 2 prizes remaining after this.
No,
he only needs to attack twice or attack into a Grimmsnarl once.
He should only have 4 prizes. Oh, no, he does have 3.
Right.
Yeah, he does have 3.
Because we've knocked out Monkey, Badoo, and then another Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've knocked out 2 Monkeys and a Badoo.
Yeah, so I guess it's fine now.
That decision, I love a little less.
I don't know about that one.
Why are we doing this?
So, for Justin, Lunatone's getting knocked out. We're going to have 60 damage to work with. Devo could technically be live. I don't like seeing a Devo this early. But it technically is kind of impactful with the sports state. There's a lot of things that Justin has access to this game.
I mean, the biggest thing is he has access to 40 more damage per turn on those Gholdengos, and that's huge. Kenneth, you're right. If the button glows green, it's very hard to decline it.
It's probably playable.
Yeah, probably is playable. All right, so on Justin's end, I got to imagine we see this for either another Impidimp or fail. But I mean, Moshi, what's the plan for Justin this turn?
Truthfully, I'm not really sure myself. I feel like I've been pretty wrong with how Justin's playing this matchup because obviously I don't know Grimmsnarl like at all. That Iono is pretty huge.
Well, especially getting rid of the secret box, honestly.
Yeah. Because at this rate, I don't think Justin's going to actually get an Itchy Pollen off, which is going to suck if we don't.
And so that, I think, was one of the reasons why Elias went the route he did, is just saying that, okay, the odds of me getting item locked again, or if Justin does try to disrupt, I'm going to be able to draw really well here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like Justin missed the out to Badoo.
We also missed the out to Devo, which is, I think, what Justin was hoping for here.
I think we had the Devo pre-Iono, if I'm not mistaken. Or pre-Elias Iono, sorry.
Oh, did we?
I think so.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So then for Justin, where are we putting this 60 damage?
We could... Is knocking out the Gimmighoul bad at this point? Because you get rid of +1 card, you can possibly get this Genesect stuck for a turn.
The only reason I'm skeptical of it is now an out to a nest ball is 3 extra cards.
Yeah.
And I think we play a bunch of nest ball, right?
I'd have to imagine. I assume we play 3.
I assume we play 3. And we actually, I don't think we've seen a nest ball yet.
No, because we've been item locked this whole game, basically.
Oh, that's a good point.
That is a good point, yeah.
Oh, and then Blood Moon the next turn for game, yes.
Yep.
Oh, and instead we're choosing to load up the Genesect.
Which is also, I think, fine. I think that's okay.
I think that is fine, because now both of the Gholdengos are going to be at 7 each, which means a
The
Devo
next turn
does
they'll
knock
be
them out.
Devoed, yeah. Which actually could be cool for Justin, just looking into it. If we could keep these monkeys alive, or no, either way, if we can just get another monkey down, we're fine. But we could just Devo all 3 Gholdengos and be in a pretty fine spot.
Absolutely. And then Elias would only need to take 1 additional prize, which is very doable. But Justin could have an opportunity to countercatch or knock out Genesect with Bear, like we talked about. Now, granted, we're not going to be able to do that on the same turn. So Justin knows he needs to attack at least twice more to win the game.
Yeah. Artisan for the Lunatone. Seems cool. Love seeing cards. Love drawing cards sometimes.
Sometimes. But this is, I think, a really good comparison of how this matchup works.
Yeah.
Elias is applying pressure every single turn, taking a prize. And now Justin has to figure out how to respond to that. Well, there. See, I'm saying. But now Justin has to figure out how to respond to that. And he's done really well up till now.
One thing I'll say, which might work out for Justin pretty well, is we're depending on this lunar cycle to find an air balloon.
That is true. Or a Turo.
Or a Turo.
Which, granted, we have all of our air balloons and all of our Turos still in deck.
So it's pretty likely. But there's still a world where it's not there. And Justin's in a pretty fine spot if Elias misses.
Which obviously is a big deal.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I think Elias has used his 1 Iono, so Justin's just going to be able to build his hand from here. But we'll see if we can get the attack here. All right, so Moshi, what are we seeing?
Boss, Arvin for air balloon, and Taro is there too. So
oh man,
we're never punished for benching Genesect.
What's the better play here?
I think it's Taro. Not being able to, or not allowing yourself to give up 2 easy prize cards seems pretty good to me.
I would agree, because Justin still needs to take 4.
I have a question for you, though. Do you think it's just ever better to attack with Soul Rock there? Because then you don't risk losing energies off Make It Rain, and then you can't get item locked for a stall?
I think it's a really good point, and I don't think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think the one benefit with going in with Gholdengo is it is easier for you to draw more cards when you're inevitably disrupted.
Okay.
So being able to see that extra card on top of Lunatone, on top of Soul Arc. But to your point, I think I would have liked to see one of those Superior played.
Yeah.
Because there's resources in hand we could burn and get rid of. We don't really care about boss. We're knocking out anything in front of us. But if we can put a bunch of raw energy into deck, that's good. And Reva, no. There was no reason to not do that. All right, so Moshi, what's Justin doing here? Aside from crying.
I assume he wanted an out to get to a Grimmsnarl, maybe even the Devo at this point. We missed both of them. We're going to be able to take a... Oh, okay. So I don't know anymore. We're going to move 30. No, Grimm does not play Fez usually.
Sometimes Grimm plays Fez, but typically no.
That's the usually part.
Yeah, correct. The usually was a good addition on there. So we do go into the item lock.
Yes.
We do see the 90 damage come up.
Which goes into, like we were saying about playing that Superior. If we played that Superior, that would have been huge.
Well, even if we just only attacked with 1 energy, we still win.
Yeah, which we don't quite have it, but we do have Soul Rock on the bench still.
We do, and that is going to be game. So Gholdengo, in a significantly longer game than round 1, takes the win against Grimmsnarl. And we do have a second game. We do have a second game, right? Fantastic. So let's jump to that, and then we can talk more about it. And we have Eevee also versus Grimmsnarl. And Rafal looks like there is depression deep in his soul right now.
It's either depression or he's doing a lot of math.
That's fair. And so it looks like Josh just took 2 prizes with Water Pond, and that's not what you want to see as Grimmsnarl.
Absolutely not. So that's another 60 damage going to be moved. That's a lot of damage on that Mew on the bench.
It is a lot of damage on that Mew on the bench.
So we want to knock out the Mew.
Well, so the nice thing is you don't have to knock out the Mew this
Well,
turn.
at least put enough to let it die to Frostlass.
Yes. Hey, I think Rolf had it functioning, just Water Pond decreased that functioning greatly.
I think both of them were making it function, considering both of them are 1-0 right now.
That's true.
Justin's 1-1 now, but
or
my
at
point
least
still stands.
Better than their opponents did.
For sure.
So for Rolf, we do have a pretty good hand, honestly. We're able to get stuff back. We have Gust. Um, Listen, I am also a Grim hater, so I feel you. So we do have Boss.
Dan, I think you just don't like most decks in this game. At this
I
point.
like some of them.
I don't know. I haven't heard you say anything good about one deck today.
I love Eevees. I think Eevees is awesome. Now, do you get cooked by Dragapult unless your name is Emma Hagen? Yes. But Eevees is sick. Grim, just anytime you don't have a draw engine available to your board, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Sammy, I'm not even going to talk about that.
I agree.
But we do see now the 2 move from Monkey Dory. We see the Gust on the Hoot Hoots.
This is so huge.
And the Itchy Pollen. And we get to bench an Impidimp. This is such a good turn.
This is such a good turn. So down goes the only search option we have on our bench. And with a big hand like that for Josh, we're not drawing cards. We're
Absolutely not.
So the Mew is just slowly going to get knocked out by ticks while Rafal can build this board that seems pretty good.
So here's the issue. If we have a Crispin.
We're in a great spot. And there's a Crispin. So
And that is very bad for a fall, assuming there's 2 different types of energy in the deck. And there are.
I assume there has to be if we used it last turn. So
yes. And so here's the thing now. We're going to knock out that Impidimp, I assume, yes?
yeah. Yeah, you have to, actually. Yes.
And so with that, the downside is we no longer have Crispin available to us. The upside is we're going to go down to 2 prizes remaining.
The only thing is, though, is that Rafal has Bear.
Fall does have Bear.
Rafal has Bear and I think an energy in hand. So,
well, that is a problem for Josh because that would actually just close out the game. And I will say Bear is a relatively new inclusion in Grim, but boy, is it good.
That makes me wonder if it's ever worthwhile just to... I know it's obviously right to take out the Impidimp, but it makes me curious if it's ever worthwhile to knock out a Monkey, like especially the one with 60 damage on it, because you get rid of 20, you make it so Rafal has less to work with, and you don't lose to just straight Bear.
So I think with the Mew going to that many 170 damage anyway, having 1 Monkey doesn't matter.
Okay.
You only need the 1.
Yeah.
But you're right. We do have a Bear, and we have an energy.
So that should do it. So at least 1 Grimmsnarl won.
Yes, we do see a Grimmsnarl win the game as soon as Rafal remembers that he can bench and attach to Bear. And we see the bench attach, retreat, knock out the water pond, and unfortunately, the one deck I have talked positively about today goes down to Grimmsnarl. Moshi, good observation on your end.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think about those games? What did they show us?
It shows us that Grim is very 50-50 on whether it takes a semi-decent matchup into a deck like Eevee's, where you can knock out the only Hoot Hoot on the board and probably win your game, or you can get Soul Rocked into Oblivion and lose the game.
So, yes, I think that is absolutely fair. And yes, Flareon's worst matchup, or one of the worst, is Dragapult. Yeah. And so it's not really surprising you get 2-0'd by a very high-tier Pult player into a bad matchup, because Emma's incredible, and I'm sure she beat a bunch of Pults on the way, but it's still not a good matchup.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad matchup for Eevee's for sure.
Yes. I don't know if Flareon is mid per se, even though you are correct, but it's all right. And Dengo Grim, I actually give a ton of credit to Elias because he played around Grim's typical win condition so well.
He did play so well.
Like, being able to avoid that Devo was huge.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Justin was, even though he missed it because Elias was very smart at not playing those those Gholdengos, I feel like Justin was very smart around how he was playing, still trying to get to those Devo numbers.
Yes.
I feel like Justin was always just 1 or 2 cards away from being able to just have a great play and just be able to shut down Elias's board.
And so, yes, having the amount of boss that Elias did, being able to knock out those monkeys before they move damage was a big, big deal.
Those helped for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, credit to all the players. I didn't see anything that was really bad.
I didn't either. I think everything was pretty well done this round. I think all 4 players played literally the best game that they could.
Yeah.
We saw every game was very close. It could have gone either way for all 4 players. So I think it's just one person drew better, one person had the card that they needed more, like Elias with his bosses.
And I think one thing that could have happened is, well, actually, that's a lie. Josh, I think, missed a really big opportunity there. Because what we could have done is gone in with Leafeon, used Crispin and the Crystal, and heal 100 damage from all of our bench Pokemon and take that Mew out of knockout range.
Yeah.
And that would have been a huge deal. Now, Leafeon probably dies to Bear still, but then Josh has an opportunity to respond and close out the game.
No, it doesn't die to Bear.
It already had 50 damage on it.
Yeah, but you can't swing with Bear because you wouldn't. Josh would still be at 3 prizes.
Oh, that's a good point. All right, so we say that, but Josh, there was an opportunity there for you, even though you played a very good game. Otherwise, it looks like. Got to keep that in mind.
Because it's heal 100, so the Mew would have been at 90.
It would have been at 90. So we would have been able to get there with monkeys to knock out Mew in between turns, but not to knock out the Leafeon.
Yeah.
So, well, the more you know.
We figured out something.
We did figure out something.
I do think it's or no, wait. It wouldn't even be close to Rafal being able to knock it out with Bear because then Josh would only be at 4 prizes because he wouldn't have been able to take that 2 prize turn.
Ah, that's a good point. No, we would have been at 3 because we would still take a single prize.
No, because we took 2 off the pump. So
right. So if we take 1, we're at 3. Josh was at 4 going into that turn.
That's right.
Yeah. So we pumped, and then we pumped, and then we lost.
Yeah.
And yes, 13 degrees. I agree. Eevee's advantage is that it has a bunch of different attackers, and Josh even plays freaking Espeon EX in there, which that card is sick.
Yeah.
Do you know what that one does, Moshi?
No, I just know it's like not supposed to be there.
No, it's not supposed to be there. But the second attack does say devolve all of your Pokemon and shuffle their highest stage evolution into the deck.
Oh, sick.
And that's real scary because that's not a goes into your hand. That's it goes away. So if you Iono and then clear everyone's Dracloaks or Dragapults or Charizards, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
All right, so Moshi, what would you want to see in our next round? What haven't we seen so far?
I did want to talk about that when I came back, actually.
Okay.
There's a lot of fun things out there.
All right, hit us.
So I saw 2 festival leads, which is more than we have Guardies in the room. We have a single Guardian in the room.
God, that's so much better. That brings my heart joy. Yes.
I saw a Yanmega. I saw
yes.
I saw an Alakazam. I saw Miraidon. A lot of Dragapult. There was a couple of Absols. I think there was like 3 Absols, maybe 4. There's at least 2 more Greninjas with Kevin and somebody else I didn't see.
Nice.
But yeah, there's 2 Miraidons. There's at least 3 Absols. There's so much Pult today. We haven't seen one yet, so we'll see where that goes.
I'm okay with some Pult.
Yeah.
So actually, let me ask you, Moshi, since we got a little time here. So I obviously am a Dragapult stan because it's literally the only thing I've played. Thinking about EUIC, should I be playing Pult Noir or should I be playing Pult Zard? I'm curious what chat's stance is too.
Personally, just me knowing you as a player and me, like because I did a lot of research today on a lot of decks because, like I said earlier, I'm working with Adam.
Yeah.
And because I'm not going, I just you know what, I got you.
Good man.
2 months.
Wait, is Adam going?
Adam is going to Seattle. Not
okay, nice.
But I think. For you, I think Pult Noir is definitely the better option. I feel like you have a lot more time spent in that deck. I feel like you have been able to completely just know what you want out of the deck and what you need out of the deck, compared to just a Pulsar list that's like never really been that consistent in my opinion. I feel like it always has. I feel like it's like in a world where it's like less consistent than regular Pult Noir, which Pult Noir is very inconsistent.
Yes to all the above. Yes.
You tell that to me a lot.
I do, and it's true.
It's very true.
Yes.
But it's like, I feel like Pult Noir is just in a better spot generally.
Okay.
Because I don't think that, what are you gaining off of playing Zard?
So the big thing is, I know the chat was, and Bro Daddy, dude, Kangabor would be awesome to have here. I'd be so down. And there is someone in Pokemon HQ sobbing about the loss of Gardevoir. Sammy, I also would not like to go 0-4 drop, and I don't know if Pult Noir guarantees not doing that, but it's a hope. I really do think that the advantage you get from Pult Zard is into decks that have numbers that are a little outside of the range of the 260 from a Phantom Dive and then spread. Being able to have Charizard to clean that up or to take a big hit late is really, really good. Because that, to me, that's Dragapult's biggest weakness mid to late game is that you can't reach numbers very easily unless you've either gotten a little lucky or put the perfect math into place earlier.
I think that's fair. I think that it's with a deck like Pult Noir, your whole goal is to just kind of build a big prize turn. like at least one three prize attack, 4 prize attack at that. Which I feel like in those matchups that you're talking about, I feel like it's a lot easier to maneuver around setting up your board for a big attack. It's just like I feel like I don't know what it is in my head. I just think it's like I think there's a lot more adaptability you have with Poltnor, where you can do more with what you have because you have less need to build a specific board in comparative to you being able to just have what you need, and whether it's good or whether it's not, because you have at least a Dreepy, you have a Duskull, you have a Bidoof, in comparative to you needing, I need 2 Maners, I need 2 Dreepies, I need this. It's like you don't need to have that specific amount of adaptability.
So that is actually a really, really good point. Just for Sammy, Starmie, Frostlass, we've actually been talking about that as a team, and that deck seems at least decent post-rotation and really cool. 13 degrees, A-Spec should be Legacy Energy. I think that's really cool. The only downside is, I
think you need to play Chrisman then.
No, actually, Legacy kind of makes sense rather than the 4th Luminous or on top of the 4th Luminous, because it works on Monkey, it works on Pult, it works on Zard still. The only thing I would say is I think being able to play Unfair Stamp is a huge selling point for Pult Zard. So if you're taking away Unfair Stamp, you got to replace it with something really good.
Absolutely.
Nick, Festival Lead, don't threaten me with a good time. I think that's just a cool deck. But to your point, I think it makes sense. One of the things that Poltnor has going for it is the format is still warped around it.
Yeah.
It is so powerful that you have to account for it and either play decks that beat it or tech your deck out in a significant way to be able to compete with it. Or just play Gholdengo and hope I don't play Moltres.
Well, why would you do that?
I don't know. Dude, Gholdengo was like 20% of the meta at both of these tournaments.
That is true.
Which it's going to be big at EUIC. I just hope it's not that big. And Sammy, 90 on 4 Heart Gold Waters. Dang. That's a lot. That's a lot. All right, so then, Moshi, what else are we going to see coming up?
Right now, we do have a Dragapult coming.
Ooh, all right.
We have Alfredo playing Dragapult for some reason.
That sounds good.
That's not usually him, but we have another Eevee.
Ooh, and we do have another Eevee. Will's been playing Eevee for a long, long time.
We have 2 Dragapults coming up because Ben is actually coming on.
And we have a Miraidon coming up here. Matt, is this Matt Vanna?
Yeah.
Matt, what are you doing? Sorry, I'm actually rooming with Matt in London for EUIC, and this man is playing something with electric generators in his deck, and I am floored for what is happening here. Moshi Sr., congratulations on winning the challenge. That's awesome. I have won one of those in the past 3 years, so I'm not jealous at all.
I don't have one yet. So.
That's fine. Yeah, exactly. Hoping to win a cup this weekend. We'll see how that goes. But all right, so then for Flareon, we already talked. Pretty bad matchup into Pult. And then for other matchup, Miraidon into Dragapult. What's the right matchup there? Who's the winner?
Pretty sure it's always Dragapult.
Probably. Probably. So one thing Miraidon has going for it is hands. You can apply a ton of pressure, and I really need to stress, Dragapult sucks for the first 2 turns.
Yeah.
But you also have Zekrom to close out late.
Yeah. One thing I will say is Ben is drawing pretty good today.
Okay.
He's told me he's drawing pretty good today. So
okay, that's good.
That could mean something later.
Poor Ben, after the last stream, came up and said, should I just quit playing Dragapult? I'm like, no, Ben. I'm going to call out things I see, but you're playing it very well.
As long as he doesn't retreat using Neo Up Energies, we're fine.
That's all we ask. That's all we ask.
I like mentioning that to him. It makes him upset at me.
That's good to know. All right, so then for Flareon, like, why would someone be playing Flareon right now if their name is not Emma Hagen?
I think it's just like one of those things where it's a fun deck to play. I played a little bit on live every once in a while. It's a really fun deck to play. It's not like it's pretty like it's one of those decks where you can like just sit down and enjoy it for a long time. It's one of those decks where you can play it for a while and not get like burnout from it. It's also just really good into a lot of things. It's like it's hard to win a lot of matchups, but it's also just really good into a lot of decks.
That's fair. And so we're going to see it here with Eevee Box, played by Will, going into Alfredo playing Dragapult.
This is Alfredo's first time playing Dragapult, I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. And he's 2-0, so we're doing well. And I see we do have the rare candies. Fantastic.
That hit is nuts.
Scooter Boy, yes, I will agree with that. It is a deck that rewards good sequencing and good decision-making.
Yep.
Yeah, that is such a good hand for Alfredo. And we'll see who gets to go first here. And it is Will. But do we have an out to a Noctowl or a Fan Rotom? No.
That hand is so good. Oh my god. I don't even want to play the Lilies, to be honest. We have double Dracloak. Why would we?
Because we want an energy attachment and we want more than 2 basics.
I thought he had an energy attachment.
We still want more than 2 basics.
There goes.
So, Moshi, talk us through what Alfredo does actually want to set up this turn. What does this turn 1 board look like?
Obviously, these... Is it double Poffin? Dude, if it's double Poffin, just like... Okay, I think it's double Poffin. That's
Okay,
insane.
so if there is double Poffin, I agree with your assessment. We just hold the hand.
Okay, we don't have double Poffin, so we can play it. That's fine.
All right, so then what is the board Alfredo wants?
So, with the Fez being there, I think it becomes a little weird because your board now has to be, what, it's double Dreepy, Duskull, Fez, probably second Duskull, and then Badoo in the active.
So,
You can either make it second Duskull or you can probably make it third Dreepy.
and that's exactly the choice. It can be 3 Dreepy or 2 Dreepy, 2 Duskull.
The one thing I think Alfredo's going to be playing on is if there's a Sylveon on this list.
And so that is a tricky thing. I think even with Sylveon, Dragapult still has a solid matchup, but...
Well, I think it's like, I was saying it more so because if you want to play around Sylveon, you have to bench the third Dreepy.
Oh, and that's very true. So this is terrible for Will.
Yeah, it's we can do we even do damage? It's 30 times, right?
30 times your bench.
Oh, 6. So we're just not swinging.
Correct.
Great.
I think we still attach the energy. And we are going to play Hilda, which we got to thin.
Yeah.
But man, that is just brutal.
We can't even set up Crown Opal.
Yeah, Shub, I think Will's wishing he could Crown Opal right now because times are dark out here for Flareon.
But I mean, this seems pretty good for Alfredo. So we still have an energy. We have a Dracloak in hand. We have this Badoo setup that's not going to be knocked out. Dragapult's pretty good.
Dragapult is very good. Now, granted, Alfredo is playing the rare candy. And so, Moshi, what do you think about rare candy and Dragapult?
I definitely like it going into post rotation. I think it's a choice of all time right now.
So tell me about that. What do you mean?
I know you can probably argue for it because you probably have your reasons for it because you probably looked into it more than I have. But just personally,
that's fair.
I've never liked Candy and Dragapult. I feel like, oh my god, sorry.
Did we just top deck a
We
Lilies?
just top deck a Lilies,
That is
yeah.
extremely rude. I'm going to be honest with you.
But like, I feel like with 2 candies which Alfredo's playing, you're making it a lot more aggressive than you need to be. Cause
Okay.
Let's see, what did we change out of this? We're missing. Well, first off, Alfredo's playing Monkey and Moltres.
Interesting.
He's playing 1 Dawn. He's playing.
What did we cut?
We're down to 2 bosses.
Okay.
We're down to 2 catchers. We're down to 2 stretchers.
That's a decision of all time right there.
So I think the cuts were literally just 1 catcher, 1 boss, 1 stretcher.
That
Play a Dawn.
those
2
are
candies.
not things I would like to cut, but I understand it. Okay. But I mean, granted, looking at this game, we've seen all the cards we want to see, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Which our board is so good. Oh my god. Like,
And we are able to find the second Duskull, which is really good. Oh.
I think the energy's better.
I think the energy's better because all we need is a Dusclops to close out the game next turn.
I think that's also fine doing that.
I would agree. And I think this is where... Okay, and we already attached the Neo-Uppy. Oh, and we can't play it! So Will did top deck the Buddy Poffin. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to use that.
Oh, and we retreated using a fire turn 1, right?
We did.
So we do have Night Stretcher, we have Dragapult, we just need a Dusclops and we win.
Correct.
That's sick.
That is very good. Very, very good.
Which,
And Will passes,
let's see.
feeling a lot of feelings about it in the process.
Dusclops.
All right, and that should close out the game for Alfredo here.
If he remembers that he used a regular energy to discard turn 1.
It's fine. We'll still just hit something.
Does he remember? Because I remember.
We're going to find out. I also remember.
I don't think he remembers.
Dude, 13 degrees, you have a bearded dragon named Dragapult? That's so sick.
That is sick.
I'm sure I've said this before, but I love Dragapult because it is the first deck that I truly had a good, big finish with in the Players' Cup. It was Dragapult VMAX. All right, so we do see the win from Alfredo here, and we're going to go to our game 2.
So, Miraidon.
Miraidon. We have squawked and seized and then motivated into a Budu. Dire times out here.
I mean, that's fine. It's a fully loaded Iron Hand's ready to do things, so that's pretty cool.
That is pretty well. It only has 2 energy on it,
There's
so
3.
fully loaded is a
There's
strong
3.
word.
There's the 2 right
Oh
there.
yeah, there are 3. There are 3. Okay, okay. So we're gaming. It looks like we have Budu'd once on the Fez.
Yeah, I was about to say that too.
Okay.
So we Lilies. Okay, I thought he was about to play the tarot for.
I also thought he was about to. Like, please don't. So I mean, Ben's in a really good spot here.
Yeah. It depends, truthfully, in my opinion, if that energy came down this turn. Because if we could just attach to the second one, we're in a really better spot than we were last time.
Such a good spot. So this is something to keep in mind. Zekrom requires 2 lighting and a colorless to do 130 plus 50 for each prize your opponent has taken.
Ben's throwing cards.
Ben is throwing cards. So at 4 prizes, Matt's hitting 330.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That is really good. One thing that I think is cool for Ben to be able to play around is the fact that that Magneton's going to give a prize.
Yes.
So we could just make our prize maps so much more optimal. Sorry, I know how to speak English, guys.
Words are hard. It's cool.
I'm about to go to college.
That's fine.
But with that Ultra Ball, we're going to be able to get another Cloak down. I guess now we technically don't need an energy on it because we have the Neo upper in hand.
But I think we still would want
still
one
would
if
want
we
to be
can.
cool. Yeah.
So when you say make a prize map so optimal, what do you mean?
So with that Fez having 10 damage on it, there's a world where we can go
13 degrees, thank you. Middle pult, yes.
there's a world where we can be able to go Dusknoir the Squawk, say it doesn't get moved. Dusknoir the Squawk, counter capture the Fez, take 4.
Mm-hmm.
Feel pretty good about ourselves. Bossing up this Cloak. Oh, he's telling me to use the dice. Okay.
Oh, that's extremely reasonable. Good catch, Bryce.
I think Bryce got used to me telling him to, like, the 3-4 weeks I was streaming straight because nobody would actually use them.
All right, and so we do see the amp you very much. We didn't even see the hands, Matt. We're going to have to talk about that. We go back into Budu, and now you're exactly right. We can take a big swing turn if we want to.
Because my whole thing is, right, and I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, please.
If we get the Dusknoir play here, Matt's going to go to 3. If we just go, okay, amp you very much the Budu, then we just go bear for game. So it sets up Ben for a lot of lines to be able to set up a checkmate board in a sense, just solely based off the fact that we have a card that goes, boom, I do damage to you.
It's a very good point. And there is no longer something like Raichu that takes advantage of energy on the board. So, yeah, Ben has an opportunity to do something cool here.
We could also just pop active. Yeah. Pop active, knock out the what's the thing called? I don't know.
The Iron Hands?
No, the Magnemite.
So how much HP does Magnemite have?
I think it's 60. Or it might be 50.
If it's 50 or 60, I actually really don't mind clearing the hands and the Magnemite.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're so set. We're so back.
We are very back. Okay.
Oh, we're so back. Oh, it is 70?
It
we
is
could
70.
just Ultra Ball for Palucha.
And that to me is the winning play here, I think.
Yeah.
I don't... Do we hit a counter catcher?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
That's also fine if we're going to hit the active.
I would agree. And also, this puts us at 3 prizes. Sure, that means we have to attack twice more. But to be honest, who cares? Yep. Matt's not going to have an easy response unless we hit Zekrom multiple generators. And even if we do, we're okay. Sammy, I absolutely agree. I think Ben was unsure about playing for the 4 prize turn.
Yeah, I think he wasn't positive he wanted to go for the 4 prize like I was saying, or if he just wanted to knock out the Iron Hands, which either play was fine, like we were saying.
Yeah.
I think that Ben was just trying to figure out which one he was going to be able to do, which I think was perfectly fine.
So I think for this one, I probably would like to see that damage go on the Squawk rather than the Latias.
I agree.
But, you know, it's fine.
Ben listens sometimes.
Ben does listen sometimes.
And then sometimes he retreats using a Neo upper on a Duskull.
And it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, we should see a 3-prize turn here for Ben, which is really good because it also limits Matt's ability to accelerate.
Yeah, that's...
All right, so then if you are Ben, or if you're Matt, how do you respond to this?
Generator.
Just hit the Jenny?
You have to generator onto something.
Do we play Clefairy?
I have it right here. We do not.
Because we had a Mew in hand. So Phantom Dive to win the game would be pretty cool here.
So that would be pretty cool, actually. You're right.
I agree. I think it'd be very cool.
We do have an Iron Bundle in hand.
13 degrees. I have absolutely won games attacking with Dusknoir. Once was into Crustle, multiple times
You
into
attacked with
Crustle.
Dusknoir before?
Into Crustle, yeah. It's your main attacker.
That'll do it.
Because you one-shot Crustle.
Yeah.
And if you don't one-shot it, you hit it for 150, and then kill it with the ability, and then hit the next one for 150.
I guess I've never actually face a Crustle or face anything where I had to attack with Dusknoir. So
They're desperate times, man. Desperate times.
are you just going Neo Upper Psychic or
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'll do it.
I triple attached to it at one point. Yeah. It was Psychic Fire Luminous.
Okay, so why did you just get allowed to do that though?
Because it was Crustle.
Oh, okay.
So they were doing 120 to something in the active. All right, so getting back to Matt's game here. So we see a research, we see Mew, we have energy. What's the plan here? Are we just going to squawk and are we just going to motivate?
We see a Rod. I don't really know what was put back. I think the hands was put back. I don't really know. I mean, we could
I have also used Dusknoir to retreat lock and buy me a turn. That has absolutely been a thing that happened. And boy, was that desperate times.
It's tough because part of me we're gonna research.
What is that card?
The Death Band.
Interesting.
Or are you talking about the Switch?
No, the Defiance Band.
Yeah, it's a Defiance Band.
And we're just going to play the research here.
It's a Death Band, a Switch, another Squawk, a Mew.
Which is fine.
Yeah, that's perfectly okay. We don't lose my energy.
So to be honest, I think the thing we need to see here is maybe motivate into Zekrom. And I know I'm kind of fixating on Zekrom, but I don't know what else we want to attack with.
I don't either. I think you're definitely right.
So I lied. We could go Miraidon for hands and try to hit with Miraidon into hitting with hands.
Or Miraidon for Miraidon.
That is... There we go.
There we
okay,
go.
Matt. Matt did listen. Oh, that actually makes a ton of sense, Sammy. So Defiance lets you close out with Blood Moon. But to be honest, you can always just close out with Zekrom. And, Zekrom, I think, is the reason why this deck could be viable. There is Zekrom in here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you. But, yeah, I mean, Miraidon into... We need 2 energy here, people. We got 1. We got 1.
We got 2.
There we go.
I don't agree with that. I feel I don't know, are we just going to arm press? I just hope we can double arm press. I mean, we're just giving up 2 prizes. Or we're gonna be giving up 2 prizes. I should correct myself.
Correct. What do you think the line is here for Matt then?
I think if Matt's doing this, Matt's gonna probably either motivate or retreat and just punch, because then we can just double punch for a knockout, and then we're gonna bundle and take a prize. Okay, that's also just fine. Or no, it's not. Wait, is it fun? Oh yeah, I guess because we can play for boss amp is game. But if Ben finds Turo, which I think Ben does have Turo.
So Boss Amp is definitely in game, and I think that's fine. If Ben takes a knockout of any kind this turn, Zekrom wins.
Yeah.
But I actually don't mind that, to be honest.
I think that's right.
I think that's perfect, because if Ben decides to take a 1-prize turn, again, Matt just wins with Zekrom. Ben, go into Badu. Ben, if you're watching this, go into Badu. Are we probably going to go into Pult? Yes, but go into Badu. And the reason I also say that is because we could attach to Blood Moon and knock out hands here.
So one thing we also could do here is, obviously your option's right.
Thank you for letting me know.
I'm just saying
Appreciate
it's one thing that Ben could be thinking about is we have an Ultra Wall, so we can play around bundle by grabbing up Ursa Luna so that Matt's forced to find boss for game.
Yeah.
The only thing that's a little rough about it is that Matt's luck with generators is pretty good, so we can't just go like double. We could just hit and just go, okay, Miraidon swing, and then now you're in the exact same spot that you were in before, where now I'm just one turn away from winning the game.
I mean, which is true, but at that point, if Matt does that, you bench Latias, retreat the Blood Moon, and win the game with Phantom Dive.
Yeah. Or, well, no. You would need a boss.
Well, or a counter catcher.
You would be ahead.
No, because we're down 3-2.
Yeah, but if you swing with Bear, you would be at 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I assumed you meant keep Bear on the bench to play around Bundle winning the game,
Oh.
and then hit with Dragapult.
Yeah, if that's the word you were thinking, then yeah, you just need counter catcher.
Listen, I thought it was a great idea on your end, and if it turns out you didn't have the same idea, then Moshi was a terrible idea, and you should go with my idea.
Whoa.
No, I do think benching Bear here is really, really good.
I think bench Bear's correct because you're forcing Matt to find a boss per game.
Yes.
Drawing the Iono was pretty sick too.
Iono is so good here, especially if you do not take a knockout.
Absolutely. So we're gonna go Iono Punch. Where does it goes on Miraidon? Obviously, you need to set up Miraidon, but then where does the rest go?
I think this is actually where I would have liked to keep building up on Squawk, because at a certain point, like you can put yourself in a position to clean up Squawk, like with Phantom Dive Snipe. But yeah, I think bench Blood Moon, attach to Blood Moon, and then Iono is so good here.
Yeah. I was gonna say if we had an energy to attach, but I've watched Ben look at that luminous energy like 12 times.
So we do have an energy to attach.
Don't boss.
We definitely don't want to boss. And so Matt has energy boss in hand.
Yep.
So if we do not Iono or knock out this Iron Hands, that's it's gonna be all she wrote.
Yeah. I think it always has to be Iono in this situation.
So then what do you think Ben is thinking through?
Ben is thinking I assume Ben's thinking, oh, don't do that.
Don't do it, Ben. Don't you do it, Benjamin. Benjamin M. We are here. We are watching. Don't you do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, Ben.
Don't do it.
You still should be playing this deck. You play well with it, but don't. Oh, we did it. We did it, Moshi.
Pass.
Wait. Jet headbutt.
You're so right.
Wait. Just jet headbutt.
You have to bench the Bear still, though.
You do have to bench the Bear, but just jet headbutt. Because I think Ben may be assuming that Matt has to attach to retreat. But just don't knock it out, Ben.
You just can't knock it out.
Just don't knock it out. I don't know, Sammy.
Oh, we had a lot of yeses in play.
I
We just
know.
went either way.
Nope, we did indeed knock it out.
I mean, either way, it didn't matter. We had Latias on the bench. We just retreat.
We did, but that also means game with the boss energy. And I have questions
I do
about
too.
that decision making. I know you all see me in a very professional pose here, but this is how I was during the game. Like, what are we doing? Legitimately, again, Ben made great plays within that. Yeah, just that
It
boss
was
not one
the
of them.
last play that tends to beat the trend.
Exactly. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm curious about Miraidon.
I think so.
So then, Moshi, why don't I go get Matt and you talk to him about Miraidon, and
can do
then because that's just cool, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, I will be back in a moment to grab him, and then if you can also just let the people know a little more about the invitational.
For
We
sure.
haven't talked about that yet.
Absolutely. So we saw 2 very good games. We saw Alfredo take a smooth win. It was very clean with his Dragapult. We saw Ben almost get there. We could have just played Iono, and there was a world where we could have been fine. Or we would have been fine, I guess. You're forcing Matt to find boss energy. But regardless, excellent gameplay. We're 3 rounds in. All 3 rounds we played. It's gonna be pretty good. You can sit over here. Take that headset. Yeah, right here is cool. Sir, how are we doing?
Feeling all right. Feeling all right.
Good win out there. I can say that for sure. Good job on that.
Misplay round 1. We had a Bear Defiance banned for game, and all you have to do is put it on the bench and you win, and let him Iono it, but that's okay.
So first off, my first question, obviously, how did you land on Miraidon today?
it's rotating.
Mm-hmm.
So got to get some reps in while you can. And I played it to a challenge on Sunday and went 4-0 and then ID'd the last round for second. And so it's got some legs. It's pretty fun. It feels bad when you miss generators or draw a handful of energy, but it's kind of the deck. So
well, what we saw, your generators were pretty good.
they were pretty good. They were pretty good. I didn't have to play any of I played one
was
generator.
Was that your first generator?
That was my first
game?
generator the full
Wow.
game. Yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to comment on was the end of the game more so. That last turn that Ben played, if he just goes Iono you and bench Bear, do you really have a way to win at that point? Because you would need Energy Boss to win.
I would need energy, generator, and then I can Z-Crom.
Well, he wouldn't be taking a knockout, though. He would be punching into the Iron Hands. You would have a full bench.
He can KO with Bear.
Well, he wouldn't. He's not swinging.
Oh, not
he's
swinging
literally
with
just
Bear.
punching with
Yeah,
the
if he just
Dragapult.
Iono swings, then it's pretty tough.
It's harder
because I
for you
just
to
need to
win
like draw into a boss off of that. Yeah.
So then, what was your thought going into your last turn when you just lost your Magnemite, you just lost your Iron Hands, you got Iono'd low? What were you hoping to just build around and be able to set up on that turn?
I'm trying to remember the board state. It was
like you had a Latias Fez Squawk and a bundle.
Oh,
on
I
your
had
board.
nothing?
You
Yeah,
had
I
just
had
nothing
nothing.
on your board.
Well, so I told Ben, like, right before I hit that generator, I was like, do you want to see it together? Because if I don't hit it, this is literally just game right here. And he's like, no, I don't want to see it. And then I hit, 2 off the first 3 cards.
Yeah.
And that third card was a generator.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
So on Sunday, I said, do you want to find out together? And they're like, yeah, okay. And they go, 1, lightning. 2, lightning. And they're like, this
Sick.
is, yeah.
That'll do it. So with this list, right, you're playing the 2/2 Magneton. That's always been pretty simple. That's always been consistent in this list. You're playing only 1 Zekrom, where I've seen a lot of lists be playing 2 or even or like, what led you to 1? And like, is there a reason that you're only around 1 and not on 2?
Well, this is Jesse Parker's list, so shout out Jesse for the for cooking it up. And honestly, I haven't favored Jesse's list more so than some of the other lists that have been out, just because it's just research Carmine. Hope you get it.
Yeah.
And I always like the Arven, Forest Seal Stone, Prime Catcher, and like they'd be able to be pretty aggressive on like what you're taking your prizes with. But there's not really a way to play it like that right now, or this is probably the best, or it's probably the best way to play it. And so it is fun, just because really the way I see it is you only need to charge up 1 attacker the entire game with generators, because your second attacker is Magneton and generally your third attacker is Bear, and that's it.
That
does
make sense.
It does stream pretty quickly.
It
so
seems
you can go
pretty
2/2 in different ways. Yeah.
So one thing is, in this room, there's a lot of different variety of decks. We've seen, I think, 5 different decks on our own up here. How is the room looking for you, and what have you played so far?
I played the Flareon deck that was on stream before, and I had it. I should have taken that one. And then I hit a Charizard deck that they started pretty slow, so that certainly helped me out a little bit. And then we got this. I've seen Festival Lead. That one seems like it could be a little bit of trouble if we can't stream the hands over and over again. What else? There's the Absol deck. I don't want to see that. I definitely don't want to. I don't want to run into that one.
There's a couple Absols in the room, because I did get to walk around round one because we had 2 donks on stream. That was I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah, and then they played again. It was also a very very quick game. Sorry, Ryan.
But there's a Yan Meg out there. I don't know how that guy's doing, but I know that's out there somewhere. There's a lot of Dragapult. There's a lot more Dragapult that you might have to see. There's a couple more Zars, I'm pretty sure. Not a lot of Guardies today, which I'm pretty sure you wish there was more.
Pult and Guardy, like, let's just keep it coming. Let's just keep it coming. As long as you can go first and like start, getting a couple energies down, or even, finding that Magneton. I mean, I told Ben, I was like, I should be taking my 4th prize like right now before you're even doing anything. So
so there's obviously there's so many decks in this format right now. What is, besides Guardy and Pult, like you just said, what else do you want to see in this room that could just be like, oh, should be so fine if I just play the deck well and just be able to draw?
Well, I know Eli's on Bolt, which could be pretty questionable. just because you have to open up that boss
Absolutely.
early to be able to get around the 240 Raging Bolt. But if they open up Ogerpon, totally fine. You just go Miraidon into that. Let's see, what else did I see today that was out there? I know like anything Briar can be really questionable because you don't want a Magneton in that matchup.
Yeah,
at all.
Never.
Because if you can't hunt down their Hoots and they draw into Briar, then you just lose the game. So that one's it can go either way. Yeah, it can go either way.
So obviously a big deck that Dan and I have talked about a lot today was Charizard.
Yeah.
That matchup seems to, just based off recent history, not been a great matchup for you. How do you fare into it between the Pidgeysard, the regular Pidgeysard that we saw 2 top 4 in Birmingham, compared to Donzard that we've seen more populated come up?
Well, Jesse gave the advice of you just chase birds.
Yeah.
Like in the Donzard, you just chase birds because if you can take out their Noctiles, like you can pretty much keep the attackers going when they come back and forth and make it so it's really hard to go find Briar. Like if they have their Pidgeots and Noctiles up that you can't gust into, then yeah, you're probably just gonna lose that one. But if you can target those down and get around your get around the Zards every turn, it's a lot of ifs. But Jesse did it pretty well in his run. So
how does that differ into comparative to just regular Pidgeysard? Is that just still like a really hard matchup for you? Is it just like hope you can get Zekrom eventually and just hope it works out?
Yeah, because I mean, I guess if you go first, take 2 with hands, and then I mean if they put a Pidge up, like I guess if you can boss that, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because then they'll swing into you and you can Zekrom for a game at the end, which has been a big closer, big help.
I'd imagine it helps that deck a pretty big amount, but it's still just the same thing of, if I'm going to take 2, I'm just getting traded, then it's just kind of just like, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's everything I have for you.
Yeah.
You're in a pretty good spot right
We're
now.
doing
You're
all right.
3-0.
It's pretty 2-1.
I forgot about the round 1.
Rubbing it in for me.
I'm making you sound good. We're good. You know?
Yeah. Play better.
You'll be back, I assume. There's a lot of good matchups in the field for you. I can say that for sure.
Well, look, it was first time on stream, and I got told about the big dice that I had to use. So
the big dice are scary. I can say that for some people.
First time on stream here. Yeah.
Well, good luck to you, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hope to see you later for sure.
Yeah, we'll see you in round 4 or 5 or whatever, right?
We'll see you later for sure. So we're, I assume, pretty close to round 4 starting soon. That deck is so awesome. I've like kind of hated Miraidon always while it's been in format, but it's always like one of those decks where you know that it's gonna be good and you know that it's always gonna have options that it can use. But it's such a cool deck, and I've always loved that deck so much. We're gonna get Dan in here soon. We're gonna be able to see what he came up with outside. See what's good in the field, see what's not. Just check back in with everybody. We're having a pretty good day. It's only 8 o'clock. I haven't thought about leaving yet. If you guys wanted to update with that. Let's see how everybody else is doing. So we saw. This is round 2. Sorry. So big. Elias Rafal played. I don't know what happened there. Nick Weber's playing Frostlass Monkey Dory, just straight. He's been on that for a while. He was 2-0. I have no clue how he's going now. We saw both games. We saw Jonathan. One thing I do want to talk about, which Dan told me to, is the invitational that we are starting today. Obviously, this is day 1. We have 2 auto qualifier spots going to first and second place going into out of this. We saw it throughout all of. I believe this one's till like the end of the season, to the end of the regular season, which we love this event. This event's always been fun. I've auto qualified twice now, which I think is pretty cool.
You have, which is pretty impressive, honestly.
Yeah. I'd say I'm pretty consistent. It's weird because I feel like it's in a spot where it's in a really good spot, but there's obviously many small things that we can fix. Many small things that I know you've been curious about. Like I heard you talk about it last week. where there's like the little tiny things that could be altered, that could be fixed, just to make it more entertaining for everybody here.
When you say the little things, what do you mean?
Like yesterday, you were talking about like, oh, what can we do to implement like more chats into helping things? You were talking with Brian about it when I was
Yeah,
listening to
yeah.
And I think that's one of those things where once you can figure something out with it, I feel like it just goes up from there and it just continues going up.
No, absolutely. So, because you're talking about specifically with like the stream and stuff. So, one of the things we are doing, and Ryan, Prusak, Alan, hello. Nice to see you. One of the things Ryan has been putting together is a survey for both players here, and then we'll probably post it like in the stream too if anyone has any feedback. Because really, we just want to see, hey, the way we're going about the invitational, the way we're doing the stream, like, I'm going to scooch over close to you, Moshi. Hi, everyone. So, is that something that we like? Is it good? Do we want to see changes, stuff to do differently? Because, y'all, we just kind of took a shot at it and said, this seems fun, so let's do it. So we had talked about it. We're going to try to get feedback over the next month or two. And then if there's anything we want to implement in between, like in the middle of the season, we'll do it around March, that break. Or if it's good feedback, but we don't want to mess with the season in the middle of it, then we'll tack it on for next year.
Absolutely.
And by next year, I mean in the summer. But yeah, so did we have any great learnings on Miraidon that I should be aware of?
We learned that the deck is pretty sick, and that
It's pretty sick.
and that he's been drawing pretty well today.
Listen, if you hit 2 energy off any generator, you're gonna be great.
Yeah, he was. I figured out that was the only generator that was played that game.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
And he won?
Yeah.
Holy! All right. 13 degrees. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We try to have good quality here.
That was like the first thing I asked, and he was like, "Yeah, I only played one that game, and that was the only one that and it hit, I guess." So
I guess that makes sense though, because we motivated.
yeah, we
and
motivated
then took
turn
the
one,
knockout.
and
Yeah.
then,
Okay, fair enough. So then, coming up, we've seen Roaring Moon, Miraidon. It's apparently 2023. What else are we trying to see? Like you said, there's only one Guardian around.
Yeah, there's only one Guardian. I'm pretty sure it's a senior, actually.
Okay.
So the obvious answer is more Dragapult. I feel like, personally, for me, I haven't seen enough to where I feel like we're not seeing enough of what the deck can truly do. Like, we've seen it be able to take big prizes. We've seen it be able to take long turns. We've seen it just be able to stall for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't seen the deck truly function to its maximum opportunity, which I think is something that I do want to see because it is entertaining.
I would love to see that. I think, honestly, the closest we saw was Alfredo just absolutely cooking Will, but unfortunate.
I think
Badu does things.
I think that if Will was able to get a second Pokemon down, that game could have been really good.
I think that game's extremely different because Will's able to apply some pressure. It's likely a Hoot or something.
Hopefully.
Like
Anything.
yes, and even then, like, it just breaks item lock immediately, which is a huge deal.
Absolutely.
So I think more Dragapult will be good. That is just such a fun deck to play and such an interesting one to watch.
My prayers were answered.
Oh, perfect.
We have Alfredo and Ryan Prusak.
All right, and then Ryan playing Michael, and I think Ryan Tran is also playing Dragapult
Imagine.
with lots of rare candies.
Is he actually playing lots of rare games?
He is actually playing. So he's playing 3 rare candy. And so that is 1 more rare candy than I am trying to cram into the deck. And to be honest, at like LEIC and stuff, I didn't play a single rare candy. Yeah. So I'm not committed to it, but a certain good player, maybe you've heard of him, named Tord.
I have heard of that guy a couple times.
He's a pretty good player. Decent. Has some good European success.
Yeah,
he has talked about how rare candy is really, really important to enable the deck to come back if you have a slow start. Oh. And I was talking a bit about this with Ryan. It's not so much that you try to go for the turn 2 Phantom Dive, because, I mean, that's cool, but, like, that's not how you need to win. But if your lone cloak gets knocked out, and either you have an energy attachment or you've been out to Hilda, then you can still play and win the game with that rare candy because you can respond with a Phantom Dive.
Yeah.
And if you aren't able to Phantom Dive for multiple turns at that point, you just lose. So giving yourself even out. Also, getting to Dust Noir from a Duskull is pretty cool, in case you didn't know.
Wait, which Michael is it?
Flaherty.
Oh, my God. Look at this.
You are just so good at this. Yes. My people. We are giving you what I love to see at 3-0 or 2-1.
We have 2 different Michaels.
Festival lead. because this is weirdly enough I'm sorry, there's Megalopony in here, and that I did not see coming. But no, Festival Lead honestly is going to be one of the best decks in format post rotation.
I did not know that.
And you can sue me on that one. You can quote me on it. Like,
quoting you on that now.
we are moving into a format where there's less search for big EXs. We are going to be able to see 8 cards in the deck that can search out their basics, and now they're going to have 4 Ultra Ball and 4 Pokepad that get out the evolutions, and you get to Starbirth every single turn. That's pretty good, man. Did Ascended Heroes go live on live today?
Yeah.
That sucks. I mean, that's great, and
bad for
it's
testing, though.
not great for my testing.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing that does suck is I won't know Ryan's list because he emailed it.
I mean, that's totally fine.
I want to know why we're playing 3 candies and what we cut.
We cut a lot. We cut a lot. All right, but we are going to start with Greninja versus Dragapult, which is legitimately an interesting matchup. So, Moshi, talk us through Ryan's turn.
So Ryan has a Buddy Poppin and I think Raw Grand Tree in his hand, which is pretty sick.
Insane.
So hopefully Alfredo could get more than 2 Pokemon down compared to like Martin did earlier, which he can with his hand already. It's not great 2 Pokemon, but we have Ultra Ball and Fez.
Yes.
So either way, we're going to get Ignition Knockout probably. But,
Yes.
Ryan, again, like I said earlier with Ryan, I don't know how this deck works much, but I assume you want to just be able to.
I can talk to this deck if you
I can talk about Pole a little bit more. But
Sounds good.
you got it.
4 bug catcher in Festival seems awesome. Vegetable, good God. So for this deck, Greninja really relies on Pidgeot as the engine and Grand Tree to set up your attackers. So you do play Duskull, Dusclops, Dusknoir. You play the Greninja EX, which has 2 attacks. 1 for a single water, does 170, and you search your deck for a card. So worst case scenario, yes, thank you, Nomadic. I appreciate it. Once during your turn, you're going to be able to attack for 170 into fighting weak guys, knock them out, and get a card. And you're going to be able to quick search and get a card. And that is so good. So, I mean, that's just fantastic. The other attack Greninja has is for a water and 2 colorless. You do 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, and you discard 2 Pokemon from this guy. So
You can't get rid of it, Bryce.
you slap down a water energy and then an ignition energy onto that Greninja, and you are sniping and knocking out 2 baby Pokemon, and that is huge.
Yeah.
I would that's fair. And then Duck, sorry, we're just getting the comments added up here. Miraidon is not the worst deck ever. There are at least 3 decks that are worse than it.
There's a Yanmega in the room somewhere.
There
It's
is
fine.
a Yanmega in the room. All right, but getting on track for Alfredo. So, Moshi, talk to us about Alfredo. What is he trying to do here?
So we discarded the Fez, which I don't think we have another Pokemon to bench besides the Streepy.
We had a Buddy.
Oh, we do have 2 Budu, I guess.
And Nick, the new Buddy art is beautiful.
Yeah, I saw that on the
agree.
way here. I didn't know that card existed. So
It's so pretty.
But so our board's gonna be 2 Budu, 1 Dreepy. That doesn't feel very great.
It feels atrocious, but actually, honestly, we don't need to bench that other Badoo because there's no water energy attached to Greninja.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot you kind of need to do that.
And so that's the tricky thing. There's no energy acceleration except for the ignition energy, which gives 3 colors to evolution Pokemon. So Alfredo knows he has at least a turn here.
One thing I think that's funny, which I like looking at, is on Ryan's list. He scratched out a part right here that says Corvus's experiment instead of Corvus's tenacity, but he crossed out the experiment.
That's very fair. Listen, I actually think Hops is probably better than Miraidon right now, and y'all can at me for that one too.
Dan, I think you're just saying things now.
No, I actually agree with that. Legitimately, we have a lot of low HP single prize Pokemon, and coming into post rotation, we still will. So being able to snipe, apply a ton of pressure, and have good responses is pretty good.
Yeah, I suppose. Grand Tree is sick. Unless we prize both Pidgeotos, that would suck.
That would be. And most item lock mirrors favor whoever draws better. It tends to be yes. I would agree with that. I don't know if I agree with the second point. So Duck's saying that they usually don't get interesting unless players both draw equally well. I think there is still a lot of skill involved. You just have less pieces to work with, so you need to maximize their value. And so on Ryan's end here, using that Grand Tree is a big deal because now we'll be able to play with Pidgeot, and that kind of changes the game for him.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. We we are going to be able just to item lock back, which is a big deal. Alfredo has to hit pretty good on this recon directive, I'm going to say.
I would agree.
Because I think, well, we don't have water energy yet, so I guess we're kind of fine. We could Lilies into it, and then we're not fine. But like,
well, the other thing is Alfredo has another energy. We can just Phantom Dive.
Yeah. I love when Ryan does this. He did this to me twice in our game last week, and I thought that was sick.
Oh, we're going to get rid of that Grand Tree,
Yeah.
aren't we? Oh!
Which is huge for Ryan, which means that we're not going to be able to attack with a Dragapult next turn, which is okay, kind of.
But you can if you play Candy. Just kidding. We don't have Dragapult in hand.
I mean, we could.
I know. But Ryan and I played this matchup, a week or two ago, and Ryan declined to get rid of the Grand Tree with Pidgeot, and that absolutely won me the game. So we have clearly learned lessons.
You think
since
you learned
then.
off of that one?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Have we quick searched yet? I don't think so. So we are going to quick search. I think it's got to be another Froakie.
I think it's either a Froakie or a Duskull.
Yeah, I think it has to be one of them, no matter what. I guess.
Oh.
Or yeah, that's fine too.
I don't mind the Hilda to be able to go get an energy for next turn.
Yeah, that's also fun. I didn't think about that one as much, but
No, I think it's a great inclusion.
I think it is too.
All right, so then
Ryan's disagreeing.
Well, that's fair.
Okay, it is going to be a Duskull.
All right, so we're going with what I said originally. Good. Guys, I'm talking quietly. They can't actually hear me. So then, Moshi, we're going to knock out this Budew, give her the Grand Tree. Is this the best case scenario for Ryan this turn?
I do think so. Alfredo's already in a weird spot, and then Ryan knows that because there's 2 Badoos on the board and not 2 Dreepies instead.
That is very true.
So I think Ryan just knows in general that there's not a lot for Alfredo. So just being able to apply pressure with getting rid of a card that just says, hey, you can evolve your Pokemon if you want to, you're basically putting Alfredo on a timer, in a sense, because now Ryan with that Greninja in hand.
Ooh, what a pickup for Alfredo. We find the Lily.
That's huge.
Because Ryan was about to use that Shinobi Blade on Greninja and Dusclops to just wipe Alfredo's board.
Absolutely. That's huge, actually. That's possibly game-changing, to be honest.
It is literally... Alfredo now has a chance to play the game because it would be game losing if he wasn't able to find something else here.
I think that's how that works usually. When you can't play the game, you kind of lose. Except
Well, not always. Well,
we might.
Oh.
I think that's a fair reaction, to be honest.
It's an extremely reasonable reaction. So this is actually one of those games where having that rare candy is going to be a huge deal.
Absolutely.
Because it's very likely that this Dracloak goes down this turn.
Yeah, I was making fun of Alfredo for it earlier, but I guess it makes sense. I guess it's fair. Whatever, man. He could yell at me about it later.
Right, whatever, man. You're right this time.
It's going to work once.
Now, to be fair, that doesn't mean he's going to win. But he doesn't automatically lose.
Yeah, it's playable.
Yes. And I mean, though, that counts for a lot, especially with, 1, this slow of a start, and 2, especially remembering that Dragapult sucks.
Yeah. So one thing that I thought of, which was never right, and you're going to tell me that it's never right, but I thought it would have been really funny to attach that fire to the active, to the Dracloak, and then retreat, counter catch with the Duskull and knock it out just to get rid of it off the board. But obviously it's never right to, but I think it would have been really funny.
So I really want you, of all the things Moshi said there, I want you to remember it is never right to do that part of that.
But remember, I also said it would have been really funny.
It would have been really funny. That is true. And hey, I have knocked out a lone Ralts before with Dragon Headbutt.
Well, that's fair. It's a lone Ralts.
I know, and it just felt right in my heart. But all right, so with this Pidgeot, I assume we're getting Dusclops out of here.
Yeah, just being able to knock out this Badoo, or just knock out anything, and then just use the boss in hand.
And I think this is going to, honestly, I think we may be saving the boss if we can, and we're just going to knock out this. Oh!
No, I think we have to boss, because I think we want to knock out the Dracloak, because I don't think Ryan knows Alfredo's on Candy.
And I think we are going to evolve up into Dusknoir to try to use that to close out the game a little earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
The candy does work sometimes. That is absolutely true. And this may be the turn when Alfredo needs that candy to work.
So we're gonna see the knockout. We're gonna Shinobi Blade for what I'd imagine would be the Dusknoir.
I don't think Dusknoir is a bad option, especially knowing that there's a chance you're item locked.
I think it could have been Dusknoir or it could have been Hilda. I think either one of them would have been fine.
I think he has Hilda in hand.
Okay. Thank you, Bryce. Gonna go yell at Ryan about the energies.
No, no, no. So why am I freaking out here, Moshi?
We used our attach and we evolved into a Dracloak. It's like you're gonna get whatever the second attack is on that Greninja, and you're guaranteed 2 prizes now if you're Ryan. With the attachment, the best attack we could do is
Jet Headbutt.
Jet Headbutt.
You got it in one. So I think the issue with that is I do not mind evolving one of the Dreepies to Dracloak
But
to
you're
then try
forced
to draw.
find Candy now.
Exactly. Well, no. Now, even if we do find Candy, it's not enough
It's not-
because
yeah.
we have attached our second energy to a different Dreepy.
Yeah, I think if we knew we had to do that play that we had to, we would have to evolve the other one, attach to the other Dreepy, and just Lilies again. It's like one of those things where we kind of have to.
I would agree. And so with this Ultra Ball, I mean, I think we need to get a Dragapult, right?
I think we do, and just kind of hope we recon into a Candy, because we don't have a Candy right now.
Right, and we did discard Pheasantipity earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is looking sketchy for
Yeah.
Alfredo.
Ryan's in a good spot, for sure.
Ryan is in an excellent spot, and his hair looks immaculate, by the way,
Absolutely.
if everyone could just note that. So then, for Alfredo, what is it we need to see off this recon? Is it just Candy?
It's Candy. Just making sure. Oh,
Goodness!
there's no way we're thinking about it.
There's no possible thought with this whatsoever.
Make sure that you have a Dragapult for next turn.
But see, this is the issue. If we had evolved the other Dreepy and attached, we could Phantom Dive.
We could fit that this turn.
And that would be huge because the amount of pressure would be applying is so much more.
And Itchy Pollen. I mean, it still sucks, in my opinion. Like, we're not doing enough at this point. Ryan's going to go down to 2, and then what?
So, and I think what Alfredo's going to be counting on is being able to counter catcher and disrupt and try to set up a sweep turn.
Okay.
The one advantage that Ryan has here is, or excuse me, that Alfredo has, is Ryan can't kill this Dragapult.
That is true.
Oh, for my good, it is a good beard too. Thank you all for noticing that. It is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a Duskull on bench, so it's practically impossible. Or I guess we have the Duskull, so we can't knock out the Dragapult.
So we can't. So we would be doing 170 with Shinobi Blade and then 130 with the Dusknoir, so we'd hit 300.
Oh, yeah.
So Dragapult would have 20 HP left. Now, is that still very bad? Absolutely. But is it, like, catastrophic? No, because we'd still be able to Phantom Dive.
Yeah. I still think even then, like, 300 is still a lot.
It is.
You're almost practically forcing Alfredo to play a Taro, which we do know he plays, but it's like...
So I would actually say no to that, though, because Ryan can't snipe Dragapult on the bench.
Yeah, that's true.
So the only way Ryan would be able to kind of spread and take multiple prizes is by keeping that Dragapult in the active. So that means we wouldn't be able to apply weakness to something else Alfredo benches.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is Alfredo has time, but like very little. So what is Ryan's play here then, Moshi?
It's interesting. I think there's... Because we're in quick search right now. We could be... I don't know. It's like, I think Ryan's just in a natural good spot right now. I mean, we could grab the ignition, take the guaranteed 2. I don't think we need to do that.
And so this is exactly the issue with like decks like this. Ryan has so many options at his
Yeah.
disposal.
He could set up another Froakie. He could get another Duskull down. He could do literally anything he wanted to.
And there's a couple good decisions. There's one optimal decision, and there's a whole lot of real bad decisions.
Yeah.
And Ryan is a fantastic player, an excellent decision maker. So, okay, get out of here. So he's got a good idea what to do, but if you don't know your deck perfectly, these are the times when it takes so long to make decisions. And so if this was a best of 3, Ryan would have to be picking up the pace big time.
Absolutely. Core is going to be the supportive return. It's fun.
It's fine. We already got rid of our Grand Tree, but we do get the Ignition Energy.
Town Store for Crisis Punch.
So that is a tool this deck plays. So what is a Crisis Punch? Like, why is it in here?
So Crisis Punch, I don't know like what specific matchup it's for, but I know that you can only use it when your opponents have 1 prize card. It costs, I think, 3 energies, or I think it costs 1 with, or I think it's always 3.
It's always 3.
But it does, I think, 230 or 260. And that's pretty good in a lot of matchups. Just being able to go.
It's 280. It hits.
Is it 280?
It's 280.
Oh, that's even better.
It's real good.
Yeah, but it's like it's pretty good. I played it so many times in Sablezard.
Ah,
Shout
yeah.
out. It was such a good card. I think
Because you also use it for free on Cram.
Yeah.
And Nick, yes, the pace should definitely be the same. We're playing a challenge. We're playing a locals. There's always going to be a little leeway as long as it doesn't actively disrupt or cause a tie. But yes, you should keep a consistent pace of play. And then 13 Degrees, it is a great name. I don't love Alfredo sauce, but I really like Alfredo the guy.
Alfredo's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, okay, Moshi, keep going. What is Alfredo doing this turn?
So we drew a counter catcher. I assume we're going to be taking out the Dusknoir. We kind of have to. Because if we get hit for 300, that's going to suck.
It is indeed going to suck, especially with 2 prizes remaining.
Yeah. But then I assume we're going to be setting up multiple prizes for like upcoming turns and stuff like that. I assume the big one is setting up that either the Pidgeot for a knockout later in the game or even Iono comes down, no counter catcher played though.
And so that's the only thing that's interesting to me. I do think we need a way to take enough prizes to apply pressure here.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Bear as a follow-up, but otherwise we're kind of stuck on this single.
And isn't that just?
I think that's just game.
Because we just go quick search boss.
Absolutely. So what I think Alfredo needed to do was go for Hawlucha and then hit into the Radiant or the Ninja and then kill the Froakie.
Yeah.
To then prevent Ryan from being able to close out the game next turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, with this Pheasantipity coming down, Ryan just needs a Gust.
Yeah. Which I do know Ryan has one because he got Iono to the bottom of the deck. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. But no, this is tough. And that's this is why this Greninja deck's so good. It's because even if you're not doing a ton of damage, it's kind of similar to Dragapult.
Yeah.
You get cool attacks that help disrupt and set up a good game, but you just get so much search.
I mean, I guess that's fine.
At this point, that's fine.
Yeah. Just playing for the hypothetical next turn because we can go Candy, Dragapult, Neo Upper Energy.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Which is good.
But yeah, we're just going to see the swing.
And I mean, if that Pheasantipity wasn't down, I think this Phantom Dive attack is fine. Because it puts us in a position where, like you said, with a Candy, Dragapult, Neo Uppy, we could be running Ryan off the board.
Yeah. Just because we can't, like you said, and I forgot about that Terror rule, we won't be able to snipe it, so it'll be safe on the bench until the Gust comes out.
That's exactly why I think that 300 isn't as impactful, is because it does slow that down.
Yeah. I forgot that was a thing because I never had that interaction so long.
Makes sense. All right, and so for Ryan, all we got to do is quick search boss. Assuming it's there.
It wasn't in the hand.
Assuming it's there.
Oh, Dustin.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah. Okay, that does the trick. All right, so Ryan, Greninja takes down Dragapult with a very cool play to end it.
Yeah, that was sick. I didn't see that actually.
I
didn't see that at all. I probably would have if I actually paid attention, but
I mean, the moment we don't have a boss, we started looking for that.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a very cool deck.
Absolutely.
All right, so Moshi, what are your thoughts on that round? We again kind of didn't see Dragapult do anything.
Yeah, which is the exact opposite of what I said I wanted going into this round.
Right, exactly.
but I think it's like we actually got to see more of Greninja this round, which I think was pretty cool. We saw like none of it when Ryan was on round 1 or round 2.
True.
But I think it's like I think the deck's so cool. I do want to hear more about it, so I might get Ryan for you because I do want to step out real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think the deck's really cool and probably in a pretty good spot. I had to imagine. It seems like it's working pretty well for Ryan. So,
Dude, I'm all for it. Yeah, go snag him. We can chat. And Nick, I was just about to say he didn't need energy because of weakness, and you beat me to it. So yes, exactly. And also for anyone else, if there's other decks you want to see, if there's a matchup you want to see, we're going into our last round here, and we definitely try to figure that out. But it does look like Dragapult, Greninja, both doing pretty well. Eevee's was doing well and kind of took a spill. But I'm curious if Rafal's doing well with Grimmsnarl, too. And we have Ryan coming in here. Hi, Ryan.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing?
Probably can't hear me yet.
They cannot, but I could. So thank you for greeting us.
Hello, everyone.
So this
Hi,
is
Dan.
Ryan.
Hi.
I did mention
No, that's Christian.
that is. We're doing great, guys. We're doing great. I did say your hair looked fantastic.
Hey, thanks.
So great job
man.
on that.
Yeah, I'm a big hat guy, but sometimes.
Dude, you're in the professional environment now.
Yeah, truly.
You can't wear hats anymore all day.
Truly got to serve corporate America.
Exactly. All right, so Ryan, Moshi wanted to hear a little more about this Greninja deck.
Sure.
It's a pretty cool deck, man.
It is pretty cool. I like it. I don't think it's very good, but it's fun.
Okay, so let me start with that. Why is it not very good?
It loses really bad to Gardevoir, and Gardevoir is really good.
That is
so
a tough
that's
loss to
reason
take.
number 1. Reason number 2
Is Greninja weak to Gardevoir or something?
yeah.
That's really
yeah,
bad.
it is shocking.
Really bad.
However, that makes sense.
It's fine.
The other reason is like you're so reliant on Grand Tree, and if your opening hand isn't super great, and you've got like an out to Chorus's Tenacity, but not a lot else, then you're gonna go Grand Tree and get like Pidgeot out, which is good. But if you're not attacking and getting Greninja out, and then your opponent like bumps your Stadium, and it's just not awesome. So
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of vulnerable to that. But I mean, if you get off the ground and you draw, I mean, you're just blowing stuff up left and right.
Well, that's what I kind of tried to throw back to other decks. People have some concept like Arc Intel back in the day.
Yep.
Everyone said the most consistent deck ever. It
Yep.
was the most consistent deck if you got to turn 3. It
Yeah.
kind of feels similar here. If
Somewhat.
you get a Greninja and a Pidgeot,
Right.
you're going to do whatever you want
I
to
mean,
do.
like if you're in a matchup that is, makes sense for the 120 to 2 dudes to do a lot of work, and you get off the ground, then like literally it's quick search for ignition energy every turn, and you're just winning the
That is
game. Like
very
you're doing
true.
nothing and taking
Yes.
2 prizes every turn. Like it's great. But you've got a stage 2 that doesn't draw cards off its middle evolution or final evolution as your main attacker, and doesn't accelerate energy and doesn't do anything. Show Me Blade's pretty good, but
It's
you
pretty
got
good.
to get there first. So.
That is very true. 13 degrees. It's great feedback, Bryce. I don't know if that's something you can do, but yes, it's great feedback. Just adjusting the audio.
Yeah, I see.
Yes. But we have enthusiasm here, which is good.
Truly.
So I understand what you're saying, and I think it's one of the things we can get stuck in is when we watch the deck work well, we're like, it's always like that.
Yeah,
Look how strong
totally.
this is.
Right.
So, like, why does it get stuck early so much?
I mean, like I said, like one of the big things is item lock from the other side. And if you don't have
Yeah.
it, like even if you have an out to Grand Tree against item lock, you can't Grand Tree out a Pidgeot and then Candy Greninja.
Yeah.
Like that's just not happening. So we saw in this game that I went Grand Tree and a Pidgeot and then ignition my Grand Tree so that he could have used it. I was like, this is cool enough, I guess. But it's just because I had, it's like 1 Dreepy in play. I could quick search for the Frogadier and feel fine. So it's like, it's not a play that you want to do all the time because
Right.
you really like having your Grand Tree in play, but it worked out here where attacking with Pidgeot was just like good enough. But in other matchups that are going to be faster and more aggressive against you, attacking with Pidgeot is not always the greatest idea because you want to protect that guy.
Good idea.
But so I don't know. It's got the early game where like you're playing for Lily's Determination for your turn 1 mainly, but then you're trying to get off the ground with Hilda's and Chorus's Tenacity, which are just not very powerful.
Yes.
So if your hands don't line up to play into those relatively weak supporters, then you're just going to struggle.
So I think I had a thought on what you were talking about there before, but I mentioned to Moshi when you and I were playing the matchup of Dragapult versus Greninja, I think it was last week, and you declined to get rid of the Grand Prix against with me, and I went Dragapult, attach, and just start murdering
Yeah, because my
things.
hand was so awful.
And so you just mentioned that, like,
Right.
lesson clearly learned.
I
You're
mean,
like, you know what
sure.
I should do is not let my opponent Phantom Dive when I don't have a Greninja in play
Right.
yet.
But my hand could allow it.
True.
In that situation. So it was fine.
That's very true. But no, I mean, it was excellent play. You definitely did cook Alfredo. Did you not have a boss late game, or did you just see the snipe play?
No, I
first?
played one boss.
Oh.
So I aggro boss the cloak.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting candy, so that's why, like, when he went Candy Pult Pass or Candy Pult Itchy Pollen, I, like, really slowed down because I was like, this wasn't in my plan.
So we actually were commenting on that too. So Alfredo actually evolved the wrong Cloak and attached the energy to the other one because there was a line there for him to get Phantom Dive that turn if he found the candy.
I suppose.
So he did find the candy Dragapult, but because he had attached the energy to the other Dreepy, rather than either committing and then evolving the other Dreepy into Cloak, we whiffed the Phantom Dive. And I think, not that it like guaranteed game, but if he gets a Phantom Dive that turn, that certainly puts him in a better spot.
It's definitely more scary. I think it's generally probably okay still, but it's definitely worse, for sure.
Yeah.
But stuff like, because I had the Dusknoir established, so it's like not really efficient for him to go after that.
Right.
So then if I go like Punch, I can go Dusknoir plus KO your Dragapult with literally anything.
True.
Pidgeot or, I mean,
That is very true.
Froakie. Like,
That is also very true.
So-
yes. God, Froakie tri-bouncing for knockout. That's brutal.
the Frogadier does auto 20, so that would be good enough,
That is
actually.
true.
You don't have to flip a coin for that.
No, we would get that right number. So if anyone did want to pick up this deck, do you have any advice for them?
It's really, you kind of have to look at the game and your board differently than a lot of other decks where you really need to prioritize yourself early, which is like, yes, you want to get your deck set up, but there's a lot of very interesting board manipulation plays you can make when you have access to Dusknoir and picking off two things off the bench. So I was watching some VODs of the deck being played, and I'm seeing plays that I literally didn't even register. So there's a lot of lines for sure, and it's kind of hard to find all the lines when you're just like playing a game because you see a line, you want to go for it. But I recommend just like watching games of people playing the deck and just trying to think through the ways that you could approach turns because there's a lot of things you can do generally.
Should I be worried about this deck going to EUIC?
No,
Okay, cool.
it's not very good. The deck just gets hard gate kept by Gardevoir.
Okay,
so.
that's fair. I appreciate the clarification there. All right, Ryan, thank you, my friend.
Love it.
Always appreciate it. I'll let you get out of here.
Good luck. Good luck.
Rolf, do you want to just chat a sec about the Invitational or pairings up?
We're both undefeated.
Oh, heck yes. All right, so two Nerd Rage people. Ryan, who just, are you okay? Ryan, who just talked to, and Rafal, who just injured himself on our sound system here, are both undefeated. So we could see the epic Grimmsnarl versus Greninja matchup. And
Yeah.
do you play Shaman?
No.
Oh,
gonna be
God.
bad.
That's going to be bad. So
Yeah.
I wanted to bring you in first just to talk about our Invitational a little bit. So I know Moshi mentioned it, but we're starting it back off for the spring right now. So what is this thing that we're doing this season? Assume people don't know what it is.
Yes, I was like start from scratch. So
Yes.
NRG, we have now done 2 of these locals invitationals where we, for about a quarter to a third of the season, track how players do at locals. So we, based on their wins and their losses, they get a certain amount of points that go under their name. And the top players from our locals for that period of time get invited to an invitational where the basically all the best players from locals get to participate and play for a big pool of store credit that gets built up thanks to our locals participation. So it's you kind of, the system feeds itself, you know, it
Yes.
encourages people to come to locals. The more you come to locals, the bigger the prize pool becomes. You know, and if you're doing well at locals, you get to play for that prize pool. And then in addition to that, we're also doing automatic invites for top performing players at our sanction events. So top 2 finishers at our challenge, which if me and Ryan ID, I think that's the 2 of us.
Oh, yeah.
And then the top 4 of our next cup or 2. So it should be a lot of fun. I've had just like very awkward timing. I've qualified for the last 2 and I've not been able to attend either of them. But hopefully, you know, I'll do the classic, you know, I mean, here's the thing. It feels really good to be rewarded for doing well in your local area, right? Because some
Yes.
players I'm able to travel to tournaments. Some players aren't able to travel to tournaments, so being able to participate at a local event and then make a lot of, kind of make a name for yourself as a player, be on leaderboards that we have. Everyone kind of knows your name, knows your face, and then you can play for some big money. Feels really good. So even for myself, like I'm able to travel to regionals. I can do pretty well at regionals, but like being like, oh wow, like I got my auto invite. Like, it feels like it's not quite like winning the first regional of the season, but it's similar, right? It's like,
well, and so Pokemon added the Ace Trainer thing, which is awesome. I hope everyone got their Ace Trainer promos from last season. But for me, it gives us something to play for that's not the 135 people who get to go to Worlds.
Exactly.
Like, we get to compete. Like you said, we get to put our names on something, and we get to demonstrate not just in a one-off, but over the course of a couple months, hey, I can consistently perform well enough to earn a spot to play for some really good money. And Nerd Rage, I'd say, for the money-wise, their big thing was always, excuse me, paying out in-store credit what people bought in for the tournament, because we always pay out based on record. And so people are paying $1 more than normal, but it's all still coming back to them. And I think that was the big thing, is we didn't want to have people have to like pay in, contribute, and not be able to access it. It's all coming back to them, just in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah. So if we got, it used to be 10 of the $10 you pay, of the $11 you pay to play in locals, $10 goes into the prize pool. For that locals, $1 goes into the prize pool for the invitational, and that builds up because our first invitational had a prize pool of maybe like $300 or $400, $500, because it was just kind of like leftover money from different events that didn't get distributed. But this last invitational was a full-on 1K. I mean, like people were playing for serious money, serious cash. I mean, we have NRG's really upgraded their like Pokemon products over the last couple years. I mean, we have a lot of cool stuff. So people were able to play for some real stuff, and I mean, we have top players from the area. Like if we have this is a 30-something person challenge. We got 60 player cups. Like if you do top 2, top 4 of these events, you're a pretty good player in our area. So it feels good to play against other top players and get rewarded for your good performances, even if it's not like a Worlds type thing, right?
Absolutely. And so we also give away a sick trophy every time. Norm has put us together a trophy for both of the past seasons, and dude, it's just like a big old crystal trophy. When do you get to win that? That's so cool. So for actual like numbers on this, we are starting this week accumulating points. If you attend a local, you get a point. If every round you play, you get a point. So you get a point if you lose, no matter what. And if you win a round, you get 3 points instead of 1. So essentially, if it's a normal local, you can get up to, I think it's 14 points.
If you go undefeated, which you can ID. You can ID if you're an opponent, you're 3-0. You could ID and tie and get a little more money than if you went 3-1, but a little less money than if you went 4-0. But there's also the incentive of we're going to play our last round because the boost of going 4-0 is pretty significant. So it really pushes you up in the standings. So it's a nice little incentive to keep people playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, 13 degrees. I'd love to do playmats. That would be sick. We've talked to Norm a little bit about playmats for the team, so let us see what we can do about that. All right, so we're fall. So going to the last round, you're playing Grimmsnarl. I've been asking everyone this. If anyone wants to play Grimmsnarl and say they're just making terrible life choices, do you have any advice for them? Is the advice it is a terrible life choice?
I would say be very patient with your gameplay. There are obviously some matchups where, like sometimes against Dengo, if they're having a slow start and you think they can't like turn to do 300 damage to a Grimmsnarl, you just like can't do Grimmsnarl and just start blasting them because that's like not always the best matchup. So you just want to like get ahead. But there's other matchups where if your opponent gets ahead, it's like take your time. I had a round 1 I played against Eevees and I had a really funky start, and I took my time, I pieced it together, and I took a 4 prize turn to win the game. You really have to piece it together. And a lot of it is just like, it just takes practice. It's a deck that takes practice. It's a Monkey Dory deck. It's a Frostlass deck. I've played a lot of Frostlass decks, and sometimes like if you're still getting used to it, you can almost like get ahead of yourself with the Frostlasses. Like you have more Frostlasses than you have monkeys to move with. So for example, like a deck like Gardevoir or a deck like Dragapult can completely take advantage of your board. If you're just burning your own monkeys but not being able to put energy on them, or you're burning anything on your bench, like if you have like a Tatsugiri or a Shaman and it's just getting demolished and you don't have enough monkeys to make up for that, like you are gonna lose yourself the game because your Frostlasses are gonna knock out your board. So you have to be ready for that. So a lot of it is just like being very patient with your win conditions and just kind of thinking through all your different options, and being aware that you can be at 3, 4, or 5 prizes, and your opponent can get down to 1, and that can be your way to win the game. You just have to have that line in your head, because sometimes it's not realistic, and you just got to go to the next game because the games can go long with this deck. And second, yeah, be very careful with your damage.
All right. And Rafal, I'm going to kick you out because you got to go pick or stream matches. But thank you very much for chatting with us, man.
I suppose I will put myself in Ryan because we're both for it.
I mean, that's super reasonable. If you guys want ID, go for it. But if you want to play it out still,
I'll check in with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Rafal. Thank you for joining. And 13 Degrees, yeah, honestly, if you want to just shoot the team a message on Twitter, NRG TCG, we can connect you to whoever would be helpful. I appreciate the offer, man. Like, always appreciate help. And we'd love to have other people involved in the community. And yes, if you're going to play Grim effectively, got to be a real good pilot. So, Moshe, how are you doing?
Good. Gotta talk to Adam a little bit, see how he's feeling.
How is he feeling?
He's pretty good. The things we were talking about in the car on the way here.
Can you move the mic a little closer and talk a little louder, too?
Things we were talking about for the list for Seattle, most of our changes are what we want to change, but we didn't do it today. But he said it's probably right to do what we wanted to do. So,
are you going to Seattle as well?
I'm not. I am.
You're just a supportive friend?
I am simply here just to make sure that he gets his regional placement because he's been deserving of it for so long.
Has he not day 2 to regional?
No.
Dude, he's such a good So this is actually an example. Adam, and you can correct me if you disagree, he's a great player.
He is.
Like, he is a better player than a lot of the players I've hit in day 2 of events.
For sure.
But he just hasn't had the, 8 games in a row where things have gone well.
He's gotten so close, I think 3 times now, but he's also just had days where he's hit, every possible wrong matchup, and it just hasn't gone his way. I think his Toronto was so bad. He didn't hit what he wanted to in Toronto.
So there's probably something there, too, is y'all be ready to not pick the meta because with 2,000 people, doesn't matter how well you call it, there's still 2,000 people. That's a lot. All right, so then, Moshi, going into our last round here, we have Ryan and Rafal that are undefeated.
Yep.
That's a pretty interesting matchup.
What's Rafal playing?
Grimmsnarl.
Oh, that's right.
So Grim versus Greninja. And then what was our other match? Ooh, so Eevee's versus Pulsard. Okay.
Interesting.
Which one do you want to see?
I kind of want to see that Greninja matchup more. I like seeing that deck. That deck's so interesting.
Dude, unless y'all are opposed, I am down for Greninja Grimmsnarl. But Eevee's and Pulsard is a cool one, too, to follow up. So let's see how this gets started. We want to switch it up. We'll switch it up. But also, as we're getting this last setup, for everyone, just a reminder, please subscribe on YouTube. Do all the things that I'm supposed to do for creating content. On Twitch, follow, share. If you enjoy this, tell other people that they will enjoy this. No, it is 13 Degrees. It is NRG TCG. Bryce will put a link to it in the stream in just a couple minutes here.
I might end up actually wanting to see the other matchup because this is Martin Rios instead of Martin Paredes.
Oh, it is Absol versus
Eevee's.
Ooh.
I don't know how much that matchup differs with the Leafeon, but it's I still want to.
Can we actually?
Can we see the other matchup?
Yeah, let's go see the other matchup. So, obviously, Greninja versus Grimmsnarl is cool, but come on, man.
It's actually Absol box for
Absol versus Eevee. That's just cool, and we actually haven't seen Absol yet, and have had requests for it. So, let's throw it on. So, who's favored in this?
My first thought is Eevee, just because of the Leafeon being able to just one-shot the Mega Absol.
That is pretty good.
That's just what I think personally. We're rolling the big dice. That's the first time I've seen that, actually. That's sick. But my first thought is Eevee, because again, that Absol's one of its main attackers in Absol box. So it's just being able to one shot it feels pretty nice. And I assume knocking out the Kangaskhan isn't that much harder either as Eevee.
So we have cursed poor Will because
this keeps happening.
This poor person just cannot find a good starting hand on stream. And so we'll see if they can top deck something, anything. All we need is a Buddy Poffin, and it is another Eevee EX. And Will, I'm so sorry that we do this to you. Goodness.
This stream goes is ridiculous.
This is so bad. I'm so sorry. On Martin's end, we got a bit of a better hand here. So, Moshi, talk us through this turn. What is Martin doing here? Look at the list second. Look at the game first.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I was just making sure that I knew what was in the list. So the big one's obviously finding
And thank you, 13 Degrees. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
that precious trolley. Just being able to set up a board seems pretty nice. We have one thing that might come important later is that Team Rocket's Watchtower. Just being able to shut down all of Will's deck seems pretty awesome.
That's pretty good. Yes. Not that there's a lot to shut down right now, but it is pretty good.
Well, doesn't it prevent the Eevee from evolving? Actually,
It does.
That's pretty.
It does.
But yeah, getting that Kangaskhan down, just being able to draw cards, is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how much like those cards like the Cornerstone comes in this matchup. I don't think it does much, like at all.
I don't think so, because the majority of Will's attackers don't actually have abilities.
Yeah. The Tool Scrapper is going to be cool. Just being able to get rid of that crystal.
Wait, did we just pass?
Ooh, that's not great. We got a Buddy Poffin.
That is huge, honestly, because we do have Noctowl in hand. And thank you very much, 13 Degrees. Appreciate you joining us.
Have a good one.
Did Martin not have a supporter in hand?
I guess not.
I thought he did.
I didn't get a good look at his hand, to be honest. I'm not sure. Obviously, he didn't if he didn't play anything. But
I mean, I guess that's true, but still. So then Will must be feeling so much better right now.
and you know what's interesting? Both of Will's top decks on his second turn has been a Buddy Poffin.
That's true, actually. It was the same last time. All right, so we do see the Sob for 20. So then, Moshi, what is Martin trying to do here?
Well, Martin could get that Yveltal down and be able to Petron out of the Sob block. That would be pretty cool, but obviously the big one, like I said, is just getting that Arven for that Precious Trolley. Getting to set up... Okay, we can play the game.
Yes, we are
Hopefully.
allowed to play the game, which is a huge deal.
But obviously, by Martin's look, that's not the supporter he wanted. And that's
No.
definitely not the supporter we wanted to see there.
I think Martin certainly wanted to see that Arven to get the trolley
Yes.
followed by a TM Turbo Energize, but
Absolutely.
we'll have to settle with Iono here.
Well, I mean, getting the Energize wouldn't have done anything because I feel like we would have attached to the Petra to draw 2 cards off Kangaskhan. So we obviously don't have an energy in hand.
No, we could dig for Yveltal. Because if we trolley, we Petron into Yveltal
You're
and
right,
then
you're
retreat
right,
into
you're right,
Kang.
you're right.
See, I got this, Moshi. Don't you worry. But all right, so talk us through Martin's hand. What is Martin going to try to do here?
I don't know his hand, so
Well, once Martin shows us his hand, talk us through what he wants to do here.
hopefully there's a form of search or like a form of finding a Yveltal, and there's not. So
Oof.
it's not great.
No, and now Will's in a really good position.
Buddy
Another
Poffin.
Buddy Poffin.
So back.
Fantastic. We are so back, people. So then what's Will's goal here with this turn?
I'd assume step 1 is to evolve this Eevee. I'd assume into a Flareon because there's no Absols down, just to be able to charge up anything. But step 1's evolving that Eevee before that Watchtower comes down, just in case we can't find an out to it, just ensuring that that does get evolved at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Getting that Pidgey down was huge, especially with Martin not doing much, because Martin cannot afford to play the Watchtower himself, actually, because he needs to see cards. So it's just huge to be able to know that Martin's in a spot where he really can't punish
Right.
roll off anything.
Well, and also, Will getting down another Eevee that's not an EX is a big deal because now that Watchtower will not prevent him from playing the game.
Yeah.
Oh, we actually get rid of a Flareon here. I assume this means we're getting a Noctowl?
Yeah, but it makes me wonder if there was something else we could have discarded. Obviously, we don't know all of those hands, so there could just be 2 Flareons in that hand.
True.
But it makes me curious if we have an idea, and that's why we discarded something else instead.
That would be my thought. And good normals, thank you for the luck for Rafal. Rafal did go 4-0, and I think he's currently playing out with Ryan for who's going to win the challenge. So the luck held.
I think it's rigged. You notice that the top 2 are NRG players? Guys.
Absolutely. See, you get it. You get it. All right, so going for the Hilda, and then what else do we get with Hilda?
It could be Crystal. It could be... What could it be? I think it just has to be Crystal.
I mean, Hilda for Jet, Flareon, or
Jet
something isn't
also
bad.
solves that.
But it seems silly to get rid of a Flareon to then go get another one.
Yes. I mean, I feel like if we discard one, we have to have the other one in hand. But if we don't, it feels kind of weird to discard one in the first place unless our hand was really that good.
No, and that's a good assumption. It may be that we're setting up the Hilda for next turn to get that Pidgeot EX down. And that, to me, seems like a really good move.
That is. But then I wonder what we're just planning on doing this turn. Because we could technically sob again. It doesn't feel great to sob again.
We could also Torrential Pump, but that feels
That
atrocious.
Doesn't feel great.
Especially not to use our Crystal for that.
Yeah.
Well,
so our
we
hands
have the Pidgeot.
We could have technically gotten rid of the Crispin, in my opinion, instead of the Flareon.
Also, my other question is, why wouldn't we just Crispin Flareon and hold everything else?
That's also true.
Every now and then I have ideas, Moshi. Every now and then.
Every now and then we like thinking every once in a while. So.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, applying pressure with this Flareon isn't bad anyway.
Not at all. It's doing enough to knock out, right? Or is it only... Like,
no, it's only doing 130. I think Will doesn't have another Flareon in deck.
do we not? That's unlucky.
Hey, so we were just talking about checking prizes.
We were just talking about that earlier. Which, well, no, that was Will's second deck search. So yeah, they could have known.
Exactly, and so that's the tough part. Like, obviously, we're seeing a punish here because now we have to Night Stretcher or something if we want to attack with Flareon.
Yeah.
And now this hurts because now we've used our second Noctowl on the board.
So now we don't have one for later, which doesn't feel great.
It feels atrocious, honestly.
And one thing I will say personally, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Also, can you talk a little louder and into the mic? It's
Yeah.
not near your mouth.
I do think that we have to evolve the 200 Eevee, because if we don't, it's just going to get charged up, and then we're going to get Kangaskhan one-shot, no matter what.
And I agree with that. I think being able to hit with the Flareon and then accelerate to the low HP Eevee, it just also plays around Watchtower, like you've been saying, because the basic Eevee that's not an EX can evolve into Flareon, into Leafeon, whatever it needs to be. All right, so then...
Charging up to the water pond is okay.
I don't mind that.
I don't either.
Especially because we're putting this much damage on Pecharon, that Torrential Pump can take 2+ prizes.
Yeah.
Or at least set up Kangaskhan or something else.
Yeah, that's true. But again, it's like, what do we need as Martin? We need a board.
Yes. And that's really the big thing here. So we are, unfortunately, 2 turns into the game with only 1 energy attached.
Yeah, that's not great.
So what is Martin hoping for here?
I mean, again, I've said it like 4 times, but this pressure trolley to do something.
Yes, that's very fair.
Like, we could... Is it even, like, worth, like... No, it's not worth using the Petch to go into Fez, because then we just put more damage, and then we get Torrential Pumped for 4. It's never good.
We'd still... I guess, yeah, if we hit with Flareon again, but...
We get Iono, so we'll see if that does anything.
And, I mean, we're digging straight into the deck. The hope is we do hit that trolley.
Yeah.
At
But
least we'll see something.
But one thing that's important is now that Rare Candy and that Pidgeot is at the bottom of the deck.
And that is tough for Will because we don't have a Hoot Hoot or a Noctowl to search it out.
Tool Scrapper comes down. That's also huge.
That is a huge deal.
Now Will's forced to find what is a Fire Energy to use.
Fire Energy. And we hit the trolley. As the kids say, we are in it,
We're
or
so
in
back.
there, whatever. We're so back. I don't know. I'm like in my 30s. So then, now that Martin has access to his bench, what's the play?
I assume we have to grab an Yveltal so we could draw.
Yes.
We have to probably grab a Monkey. Maybe an Absol, but we don't have Energize, so maybe not an Absol.
We could have Energized. We can't see Martin's hand right now, so there is a possibility.
And he's choosing not to, so it makes me think we don't.
Yeah, just stopping there.
Yeah, regardless, we still have to go into the Yveltal. I think we're forced to retreat into the Kangaskhan afterwards because we need to see more cards.
And we've already manually attached 2 Kangaskhan.
Yeah. So we see the Petch. We see the retreat. And the thing that's cool is that if we miss an energy, this Flareon's stuck.
Very true. And so it gives Martin just a little bit more time to work with.
Yeah. So we're not going to see an attack from Martin, obviously, because we already attached the missed energy for turn. But we might not even see an attack from Will next turn.
We actually just see a pass.
Which I think is all he could do. He already attached, he drew 2, he patched, he did everything he could with his turn.
So the optimistic me was hoping for a Turbo Energize, because that would have allowed him to set up the Monkey Dories, and because Will did not take a knockout, there's 150 damage sitting there for Martin to work with.
Yeah.
And so that's big, because now Martin, if he flips a single heads on this Flareon, he's one monkey away from knocking it out in between or during his own turn.
And one thing that's also important to mention is that Absol's terminal period attack, with that damage just sitting there, there's 120 damage. That's 2 terminal periods already guaranteed, which obviously I should probably explain what terminal period is. If your opponent's active Pokemon has exactly 60 damage counters on it, or 6 damage counters on it, sorry, it's just knocked out.
Which is fantastic.
Which is pretty cool.
All right, so we do actually see from Will the Torrential Pump, and I love this decision because it clears the damage, but then sets up Kangaskhan to be knocked out by something else.
But my question is, to what? Like, what is it going to get knocked out by? Because this Flareon could Carnelian it, I guess. No, because it has a jet on it.
True, but we could Energy Switch.
Energy switch the water. Well, no, because if it's getting knocked out, then there's no energy to energy switch.
Well, that's true. So for Martin,
we need a heads.
We need a heads.
Or we need
Monkey E-Switch.
Yeah.
So for good normals in YouTube, there's that's
never mind.
So
we just
sick.
need monkey energy.
All right. There's so much deck search and draw on Pokemon compared to Magic. So yes, I think one of the things that differentiates Pokemon from other games is you are able to see and access so much of your deck throughout the game. Where once you get towards the end of a game, you see literally your whole deck.
Yeah.
Like you can deck yourself out even when not playing against something controlling or mill.
You can you can have a 20 card hand if you wanted to.
Yes. So are there still games where you brick or things are weird? Absolutely. But especially right now, there's so many tutor and draw cards in the game that you can just see whatever you want.
Yeah. And I love counter gain so much. That card's so cool.
It's such a good card. And we see the Watchtower. And Will's a little upset about that. But also there was no need to put down the Area Zero.
Yeah, if we weren't going to get another Hoot, there was zero reason to put it down.
I see what you did there.
You like that one?
I did. I appreciate that. All right. So then we are also seeing an Arvin, which is fantastic. So Martin, after having a rough start, is setting up here.
It's all of a sudden just straight back into this game, like it was nothing.
As we said, we are so back.
We are so back.
And for Will, unfortunately, it's all over.
We're not so back.
We are not so back. So this Kangaskhan's obviously going to knock out this Water Pond. How is Will going to respond? Is Will going to respond?
That's the better question.
And Ryan won the challenge. Rafal unable to take the win there. All right.
Congrats to Ryan. He told me earlier that his deck was good, and I didn't believe him. But I guess his deck is good.
To be fair, he just came up on here and told us the deck was bad. So maybe he was right. All right, so we do see Fez from Will, which is a big deal.
That's an ability we can use.
It is. But do we get any cards we can use it with?
I don't know, and I also don't agree with promoting the Pidgey. If we need a Fire Energy to be able to attack, I feel like you always have to promote the Flareon just in case you do hit it. Because, like, if you don't, sure, it's awkward you're leaving a 2-prize in the active with that Flareon, but it's like if you hit the Fire Energy, you're forced to find Switch, you're forced to find Latias, you're forced to find anything.
I think that makes a ton of sense because now the amount of resources Will needs to continue to advance his game is so much more.
Yeah. Just by the look of Will, I don't think it's there.
Things are not looking great, fam. So then I'm wondering if you're Will, what's the choice? Like, what do you do here?
It's tough to say. You know, we could Crispin. That's also an option. Crispin and then use Burning Charge if it's there. We did just shuffle back a couple Fire Energy and a Lightning Energy, I think it was.
We did. And that also, though, puts the Candy and Pidgeot closer to the top of the deck. Now, granted...
Oh, we haven't shuffled since then. That's right.
Right.
No, we did off the Water Pond.
Yeah, the Torrential Pump was the first shuffle of the deck. Granted, we can't use Quick Search, but even just getting to set up a board a little bit better would be good here.
Yeah. For when that inevitable Gravity Mountain comes down, that can bump this Watchtower.
Yes. And so Will just kind of seems stuck here.
Yeah. I think it's... if we knew what was in the hand, that would be sick. But
right.
I think it's more just... It's either Will has nothing they can do, or they're stuck between two options and don't know which one's right or which one's wrong.
Bryce, do you mind checking on pace of play if we don't see a decision here in a minute? So, and obviously not trying to rush anyone, but since there hasn't been a decision made, that's when we kind of want to encourage stuff to move along. Also, we do see the Gravity Mountain come down.
And there's a Night Stretcher for what could have been a Fire Energy, because I think there is one in discard.
There is, because it was retreated off of the Water Pond early.
That is correct. Or no, it was... No, it was. You're right. Yep.
I'm always right.
Whoa. Oh.
And Will with the very responsive, yeah, I get it, guys. All right, so he's the jet into Hoot Hoot.
Yeah, I guess. Just pass.
And I mean, I don't mind that. If this is the situation we're in, it's the situation we're in.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that.
The only thing I would say is I would have preferred to...
Oh, it was a Water Energy in discard. Oh, because of the Water Pond knockout.
Yes, I would have preferred to not see that stadium go down until Will needs to use abilities.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's not like we played 2 Watchtowers, so it's not going to get, like, punished, in quote. Oh, we could take 2 prizes this turn. No.
We can.
Oh, no, we can't because the counter gain's not active anymore.
Well, we did just attach.
Energy Switch. Energy Switch here is huge.
We see a boss, and no, we see 2 prize knockout from Kangaskhan onto the Pheasantipity.
That's also sick.
Mudkips, yes. So the Pokemon has less Firefall. Pokemon has less, like, 1-turn kill or just overrun your opponent in a single turn abilities. Typically, you have to enact your game plan over the course of the game. And Glass Trumpet is a very good card.
Black Belt, Noctowl, Crispin.
All right, so Crispin can be... Oh! We are... We have 4 energy down, so we are just a little short of the knockout.
I think we actually just messed up.
But with Black Belt, we're doing 280.
With what?
With Leafeon. So Leafeon's first attack for a grass and a colorless does 60 damage times the amount of energy attached to all your opponent's Pokemon. That 60 times 4 is 240. We're not quite there, but with Black Belt, we are hitting 280 and knocking out this Kangaskhan. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but we do win for Martin with one of our 4 bosses and that Blood Winter Saluna with an energy.
On Fez, yes.
Yes.
So it is still an opportunity for Martin to close out the game.
But now it's a lot harder, and Will is just straight back into this game.
100%. We are so back.
We are so back.
And so, Will, finding a way to get back into it, I'm not going to make the obvious pun here. So for Martin, like you said, we need to find Bear and Gust. Well, we found Bear. Do we have Gust?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We're going to be at 1 prize because of that. Do we have one of our 4 bosses?
We have not played Pheasantipity
yet. We have Countercatcher. Because Countercatcher's live still.
Countercatcher's also live. I think Will, or Martin, excuse me, thought he had a boss in hand.
It's rough. We have Arvin for Countercatcher. I don't think we've used either of them yet. Or we used one.
Don't know if we have either. We do see the Countercatcher on Fez. Martin, Absol box, takes the game against Eevees. And just a couple, like, off plays that I think put Will in a bad spot.
Yeah, for sure. I think regardless, it was close. It was.
Yes.
We thought it was over for a while. We were so back. We were so back. It was so over again. And then we were back.
Well, so that's one thing I actually really love about Pokemon is comebacks are so possible right now.
You can't count anything out.
No,
like, ever.
There's so many opportunities. Like with Iono to disrupt, with Countercatcher to give you more power if you're behind, and just the amount and variety of attackers and stuff we have right now, you can just do some cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Especially Eevee, since you have like 47 attackers in that deck. All right, so Christian, we are at the end of our challenge. Ryan did win, and so he and I think Rafal would get second. They automatically qualify for the Invitational. Any thoughts or any last things you want to share on the games today?
I thought it was a pretty good day today. I know that there's...
Thank you, Quinn. Moshi is the GOAT.
Sometimes. Dan doesn't think I am when I don't listen to him when I play Control anyway.
I think you're wonderful, but everything else you said is true. But carry on. So what are your thoughts from today?
I feel like Dragapult's still a really good deck, regardless of all three of its poor showings.
That's very true.
And I think post-rotation is going to be interesting for sure.
Yes.
With what you told me about Festival League today, I guess I have to trust it.
I'm saying, man, also Festival League is performing very well in Japan in their format.
I've looked zero things into the next format.
That's
I've been
fair.
So focused on my education, guys.
Good. All right, so thoughts on today?
It was good. It was a good day. I think we had quality games for the most part, ignoring round one.
True, yes.
I think I would say we had a lot of fun today. I think all of our players did, I assume. We had a lot of interesting decks in the room. I'm so sad we couldn't see on Mega. But
I know. I think we all know why.
But I think this format's pretty much like set for EUIC in Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many like list changes that we're going to see that are like plenty impactful. And I think it's going to be pretty good weekends for EUIC in Seattle for sure.
I think it's going to be fun. And that's the thing. Even though the format's pretty standard, it's not a bad format.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of intricacy in games. Decision-making matters a ton. And we kind of saw that today where even if players were bricking, drawing poorly, there were opportunities for them to play themselves back into the game.
They can always come back.
Right.
no matter
Whether or
the
not they
situation.
took that opportunity was a question, but the opportunity was there.
Yeah.
And so, Duck, post-rotation, we're losing a lot of disruptions, and that's going to be interesting.
We have Judge.
We do have Judge and Harlequin. But so on my end, like you said, Moshi, we saw some really cool games. We got to see a bunch of really good players up there. And I mean, I'm just excited we have the Invitational going
Absolutely.
again because, dude, it's just fun to have something to play for.
I'll be back.
Good.
I
love it.
I was supposed to get my invite today, but Brian couldn't make it, so I had to be here.
I appreciate you hanging out with me in person, at least.
Of course.
All right, so on my end, thank you all very much for coming and being a part of this. Like I said, if you're on YouTube, if you can like and subscribe, that'd be wonderful. If you're on Twitch, if you can follow, just hang out with us. We will hopefully be back here for all of the next few weeks since there's no NRG events. Is that right, Bryce? I won't be here on Thursday. As long as... All right, perfect. We will be here. Someone will be here for the next few weeks. We would love to have you guys come join us. So like we said, we will be here next Thursday for more league qualification and points and some great Pokemon play. So we'd love to have you come back here and see us here at Nerd Rage Gaming.